And welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your hosts, Daniel.
And Daniel.
Daniel, like no puns, no jokes right off the bat. I'm just really stoked for this episode. Honestly.
I know you are. This is one of your favorite companies.
It really is. Like, this is one of those things. We're doing a board game breakdown today. And when we're talking about this, there's a handful of companies that we just like... It's one of those shut up and take my money games.
Yeah.
Right? And our publishers.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything that they come out with very rare exceptions, are something that I genuinely enjoy, and I'm always willing to listen to their radar. Mm-hmm. And we've never broke down this company before, I don't believe.
But before we get into that, the company we're going to talk about is Gamewright Games, of course, but we're going to do a little quick advertisement for our listeners at home, as well as our viewers.
Speaking of other companies we enjoy, right, we have a game called Ultimatch from Fireside Games. Small, beautiful little cooperative card game where you're trying to beat the pyramid of colors, trying to make the ultimate Ultimatch.
Yeah. And so we're going to be giving away a brand new sealed copy. This is my physical copy because the one you can win is in that cornucopia right behind me.
That's right.
So to enter, just listen a little bit later. We'll tell you every way you can enter. We just wanted to get off the top that there is a giveaway going on right now that we will close about December 1st.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that being said, real quick before we get into the news, what is your thoughts on Gamewright? I mean, you said that's one of my favorite companies, and it is. I love their stuff.
I like them for what they are for me personally. They have some of the best filler games for me, and it's one of the companies that I will always suggest to my friends that have children that are wanting them to teach them board games and stuff like that. If they're really, really young, I go Haba. If they're like 7, 8, 9, 10, where they're starting to gronk more complicated stuff, Gamewright is the one I tell them to go to. They're and one of my go-tos, and we'll talk about it a little later, is they have a kid who's interested in like detective work and science and stuff like that and deducing.
Okay.
And so my suggestion to them was Outfoxed because you're deducing stuff and you're trying to investigate and all that sort of stuff.
How old is that kiddo?
He's going to be 10 now.
I would also recommend Deducto, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah, but 100%. When I recommended to him, he was 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's slightly a while ago. Yeah. But Outfoxed, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So but it's such a good game. It's a good deduction. Worked really well. And it's the same thing with the Gamewright. It's like I like Gamewright Games because I'll take... we took Trash Pandas on the cruise when I went on a cruise a year back. For our 10th anniversary. It was one of the games that just easily fits in one of these little photo cases that I carry around for my small card games. Packed it in a suitcase, took it to the cruise, played it there. So, yeah, they've done really well, especially for their smaller stuff. One of my all-time favorite games is probably in my top 100, probably my top 50 in all honesty. Spoiler alert. Dragonwood. I still bust that one out all the time, and that was one of my first games I ever played from Gamewright.
That's awesome. But, I mean, I really enjoy them, as you said at the top of it. This is one of those companies I just go out of my way to... every time they release a new game, I'm always like, all right, now tell me about it. I'm interested. And we'll get more into that later, but I just wanted to bring that up and get our initial thoughts on it for the listeners of our episode today.
And not just that. I have one gripe with Gamewright, though.
Oh, all right, let it out now before we complain too much about it later.
Why? Why is everything got to be a 10?
Yeah.
Oh, that drives me insane.
We thought that they were going to stop for a while, and then both Forbidden Jungle and Wrath of Fire Mountain just came out in tins. It's like, it is what it is.
They're pretty. Don't get me wrong. I like tins. They're really cool. But they suck for shelf space.
I had to hold back a little bit because I don't disagree with you. And I was talking at our local game group just this last Saturday. Yeah. And we were looking at all the games, and they're like, oh, yeah, and they put the Wrath of Fire Mountain. It's like, you know what? I really like it when people put it in tin. It gives it a really good feel. I love it. And I was like, I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do.
Because they're not hobbyists.
Yeah. Well... Not yet.
Not yet.
As soon as they
Until
realize
you
how
start,
bad things are.
Yeah, you can't stack them.
Like, we're not gatekeepers, but that's a gate that needs to be closed.
Ain't that the truth? Case in point, my Abandoned All Artichokes tin is right over there. My card game's not in there. I don't keep it in there. I keep it in one of these photo cases. Just because, one, it's more portable, and two, that just sits in my closet because I don't want it hanging out on my shelf.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good thing, we don't have 3,000 games in our library. That's a good thing. Do you have that many Illuminous? Is that
is that a thing?
like? I mean, like I have quite a few, but like, whew, not that many.
Yeah, I try
That's
to keep
impressive.
my games to a certain amount, like what I can fit on this space or that little corner over there that's covered.
Yeah, I only have like 100 or so.
1,000.
No, not 100,000. I mean, that's what I tell my wife, is I have about 100 games. I don't know. I stopped counting when I hit 100, so I don't know. But I have about 100-ish.
All right, well, why don't we get into the news before we get more off rails of this already going to be a long episode?
All right, let's get into our news today. Shall we flip the coin of doom?
Flip the coin of doom.
Let's do it. All right, I'm starting off with my news today. First bit of news that I wanted to talk about is one that I told you as soon as I heard about it, and this is like, normally we don't discuss our news before.
Yeah.
But I remember bringing this up. I was like, dude, did you hear about this? Anyway, that's my choice for news because I wanted to bring this up.
We do kind of discuss news because we'll correlate news differently, and then we just pick different news because we do 4 each, so we don't want to do the same news each time. So
that's right. So this is your go-to place when you want to hear about some of the news that that we're interested in. Anyway. So, listeners of the podcast know that we're a fan of Phil Walker Harding. He's coming out with a new game from WizKids. This is called Dungeons & Dragons Edge of the Realms. It is a Dungeons & Dragons themed map building game where over 15 turns, so you start with one map tile, you're going to be playing down a map tile and causing a lot of different interactions with those. I think each of the map tiles are like either a 2x2 or a 3x3 grid.
Yeah.
And they have 4 different terrain types like mountain, forest, very similar to like Magic kind of like land types, water, whatever. And you're trying to get them in certain groups and all sorts of different drafting, trying to like complete quests, I believe, as well, and just trying to just do general pattern building, which Phil Walker Harding is known for. I don't know much more of it. I don't think it's coming out this year. I think it's coming out mid next year, but looking forward to that.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. I like Phil Walker Harding. It is by far one of the more generic games that's coming out, and that's just WizKids lately.
Sure. They have the Dungeons & Dragons license,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're not wasting
because they
the license.
They have another one that's coming out, I think is a Gilbert Dunstan game. Also has a very generic name in the Dungeons & Dragons license.
Yep.
I think it has something to do with Baldur's Gate, so...
That's cool by me.
Yeah, so there's that as well. So yeah, it's just what WizKids does. So my first bit of news is a new game announcement from probably the new hottest designer right now. In fact, I own a game of his that's on my shelf of shame. You've owned a game of his that we've played.
We really enjoyed it.
I think if it's Damn It Dom's pick within the next 2 weeks, we're going to be playing one of his games here, and this is Danny Garcia.
Okay.
So the new game he's coming out with is coming also from Ludo Nova, and it is Coming of Age. It's a 2025 release. This one is basically you're literally coming of age. You start out as a child. You do dice management mechanism that has you visiting different places in the city and gaining life experiences. You gain friends and either maybe go into relationships and stuff like that. Fantastic looking artwork. Looks really cool. I really dug our game of Barcelona that we played. I really enjoyed that one. I'm really looking forward to trying Arboretum here soon. That's the one I personally own. Damn It Dom is really down to get Windmill Valley. When we saw that at the Gamma Expo earlier this year, it looked like it was going to be a really fun game. So Coming of Age from Danny Garcia and Ludo Nova should be coming out about 2025. They didn't say what quarter, so I'm assuming if they're announcing it now, it's probably going to be a Q1 release. Yeah. Maybe summer.
Yeah, more likely. And Illumina says, I'm more curious about the Mistborn deck builder. Yeah, it does sound interesting.
I have it pre-ordered, and I've already checked on how it plays, so it looks really neat how it's going to work.
It is cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, Danny Garcia, I almost wonder if we're slightly biased towards his designs just because of the name.
Yeah, well, it does help.
Like, representing in a good way, Next piece of news I wanted to talk about is a game that, forgive me if this has been previously announced, but Level 99 recently sent out an email where they said that they're going to be talking about their next upcoming project, and this is a game called Wardens. It looks like a card-driven game. I don't know if it's like a battler, like similar to one of their other things.
Yeah.
But all it simply said is that to join them on a live feed. If you haven't signed up for the Level 99 newsletter, email newsletter, go do it. It's free, so why not, right?
Yeah.
And they talk about their games that are upcoming. And all it said was, like, join us when Brad is going to talk about his upcoming games, Warden, which is going to blow your mind. That's all it said about that. And it had a picture of a couple cards. I don't know. I'm very curious. Level 99 is a friend of the podcast. They're great people. And Brad is a great designer. I am very curious to see what Wardens is going to be about. Yeah. I'm sure we'll have to have him on when we can.
Yeah, no, it looked interesting. I didn't get much more information. I just gleamed at the email. Mm-hmm. I actually was having a busy day. I was actually going through a lot of emails. Right. So I was just like, oh, that's cool. And went on. But yeah, no, it looks interesting. And I've loved a lot of the Level 99 designs. Yes. Bullet, if anybody hasn't known, is our first 10 we've ever given on our review. So
that's true. Yeah.
I think there's only been 2. Bullet and Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched the reviews yet, do it after we're done at this episode today.
All right, with that being said, my next bit of news here is news you didn't even know about until I was telling you that I picked this on here.
So do tell.
So, by the way, there might be another giveaway coming up here pretty soon. Probably our next couple giveaways are already set.
Yeah, pretty much. We might have some nonstop ones. We'll see.
All right, so this news is Ravensburger announced that they're releasing a special module for the Christmas season. Mm-hmm. The requirement was you had to go onto their online shop. You had to order either Horrified World of Monsters or Greek Monsters to get a special Krampus module for these 2 games. So yeah, you had to buy either of those sets, which it looks really neat. The mini looks okay. I'm intrigued. I think it's going to come in its own little box, and you just had to, while supplies last, go onto their store and buy it. Sold out a couple times. They opened more, so more people bought into it. I was able to get myself into it, even though I own the games. I really wanted the Krampus module.
Yeah,
so
I do too.
If you did not get into it, I don't know if it's sold out. I haven't checked it today. I was able to pick it up, I think, on Friday when they announced it. But you can check, I believe, November 18th. Just go to their Instagram. Check out Ravensburger's Instagram. They will be announcing a giveaway, I believe, on the 18th. But if you want more information, just find Ravensburger on Instagram. But yes, a Krampus module for Horrified.
Cool. Now, Daniel, you know I'm a fan of a lot of different publishers and stuff. What is one of my favorite publishers that we've been playing lately? I'll give you a hint. They are defunct as far as I'm aware of.
Tasty. Oh, Astari.
Istari.
Yeah, I know. I knew this was going to go on your list.
As soon as I found out about this. So there's a game called Assyria. Yeah, oh yeah. There's a game called Assyria, back from the old Astari company. I don't know if they're out of business now, but I do believe so.
I think they're out of business, yeah.
But a lot of the people that are involved in the company went on to do gaming in a bunch of different fields.
Yeah, I think one of them's under Asmodee's license. They're like one of the big guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I know like some of the guys like work with a lot of like Repos and a few other different companies with them. Yeah. So, but no, Istari was always one of my old favorites, and in fact, we just played an Istari not long ago. You showed me Prosperity, and man, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And thank you to Trick or Treat Studios for bringing that back as City of the Living. City of the Living, yeah. Go play that. It's super cool. But anyway, Assyria is coming to Kickstarter soon, and Q1, and they actually had some development work from Shem Phillips
and Sam McDonald.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that part. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I already figured out like the game. I don't know if it's one that I own already. I'm gonna have to double check that because I own a lot of Istari. I picked them up because they're cheap right now because they're ugly as sin, and they really are. But they're great games.
They're really good. Yeah.
I rarely find any Istari game I don't enjoy.
I'm trying to remember what the other one we played.
Asteroids.
No, there was another one. Was it Ispahan or was it Wise?
We haven't played Wise yet. I haven't played it yet. Or East. But we did play East. I don't know if you played Ispahan, though.
We played one of the Astari games that wasn't Asteroids.
We played the one with the gardens and you're trying to build,
They all look the same. Yeah, Ugly as Sin, but very solid games.
That was like, it looked like a Cleopatra-esque woman on the cover.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name. No, Ispahan is one I do want to show you because that's what Corinth was made into.
Oh, yeah.
And it uses that same dice drafting mechanism, but it's on a full board system.
So technically, I've already played it, so I was not wrong.
I would say it's legitimate to call it a different game. It's based off of it, but it's Ispahan the dice game, really, is what it is. So, anyway. Yeah, there's so many other games. I want to make us play Bombay soon because that's one that's coming out, or that's
getting a reprint, right?
It might be.
I think so. I heard something about it, but yeah, no, it looks interesting. Like I said, I have not, other than Asteroids, I haven't really disliked it. Asteroids was fine.
Asteroids was exactly what it wanted to be.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's
dumb,
fine,
but it was funny.
Yeah.
Yep. So Assyria coming to Kickstarter.
All right, my next bit of news is some big news coming out of the French, I think. Maybe German, Madigo?
Madigo? Yeah, I think
French, yeah. They announced they are going to be stopping publishing and printing heavy Euro games.
That's so sad.
Such as Rapa Nui, Kemet, and Inish. They are going to focus more on family, weight, and children games. As well as they want to give, this is also in that statement, they want to give their company more recognizable editorial focus. And so they want to be more known for people who avoid Madigo games because they expect it to be more the heavy Euro lines, like Kemet, like Inish. So they want to go more family weight in children games to be known as a family-friendly company. And they have made a deal with Colossal Games and Grail Games to take over the heavy games. I believe Colossal Game is going to start printing and publishing Kemet, and I forget what the other one was that Madigo has. Inish was the other one that they're going to take over. And then Grail Games, which is an Australian company, are taking over like the Rapa Nui, the heavier Euro side of the games. Yeah. So the Madigo dropping down to be less heavy on the Euro side of games.
That's genuinely surprising. So, Ameitis, or Ameitis, as we called it. That was the one we had played.
Oh, okay. All right, your last bit of news.
And this is big. This is pretty big news for me. What I wanted to talk about real quick. First off, do you guys like supporting like smaller publishers? I know you do, right? There is a publisher called Thing 12 Games. They are, and there's a reason I bring this up. Of course, but they are coming now to market.
Personal bias over here.
Very much personal bias. They're coming to market now with the first game that they've ever just bought it straight out, and it's going straight to retail. They're not even doing a Kickstarter. This is their first non-Kickstarter game that they have published and printed, and it literally just hit their stock. So I think you can still technically pre-order it on their website. They'll be shipping it soon. They now have copies. I saw a picture of them putting at a convention that they were at just recently, and they had copies of this game for sale. This is Hit Me by Thing 12 Games, designed by yours truly. Go buy it. Go pre-order it. If you live here in town, come find me. I'll sign it. But Hit Me, press your luck party game. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll let you say what you think about it. Never mind. So,
no, it's a decent game. It's just the game that we give you the most gruff about.
Yes.
Just because it was the only one you had printed for the longest time because you originally put it on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And two,
very small print run, but
it had not so great artwork. And
yeah,
that's what you get for free. But
yep. Good friend of ours.
Yeah, we just like to tease him about it.
Yep.
And
I did the graphic design. So
I gotta say,
yes.
As much grief as I get you, I'm the only person out of our friend group that actually sold your game.
Yes. Yes.
Physically sold your game.
Yes, that's right. It was really cool. So, yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Granted, I've never sold my game. Really.
Yeah, so...
But, no, Hit Me, it's a silly little press your luck party game from Thing 12.
Really good artwork.
Definitely their style. Yep, yeah, their new cover art is beautiful, and then the artist that I got to do it did great illustrations. It is 2 to 6 players. It plays in about 15 minutes, very much in their line, if you're familiar with their Dice of games. They also just came out with Puppy Pile, which is a fun little up to 6 player, like hidden roll puppy themed game. Very simple. Yeah, exactly. So They're making the hit me puns already in the chat. I love it, guys. Keep it coming.
And that's why we give him so much grief, because almost all of his games are puns.
Yeah.
So...
Matches and hit me are both hard puns.
Yeah, yes. If you play the game, you'll get it.
Although I will admit, though, the other game that's coming out from the my Belgian publisher that's already been announced, Ravel, that's not a pun.
It's not. It was a pun. Then they changed the theme on it.
No, it wasn't a pun. No, it was kind of a dark theme, but yeah.
All right, so...
Yeah, your business name is a pun, too.
With that being said, congratulations on your next game.
Thank you.
When we mentioned about our next set of stuff, giveaways coming up, kind of pay attention. We don't know when we're going to be doing more giveaways, but right now we're just going to finish this one.
That will be at some point in the future.
Yep. All right, so my last bit of news is one that I am kind of excited about. After the news coming out of the most recent CMON Expo in Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand, they have announced a bunch of stuff that really has me intrigued. First off, they're coming out with a new Civ game that has no minis on it, but it looks really, really cool. It's called Nova Era, and so you're basically trying to balance tracks without getting your civilization in decline. It looks really neat. Something right up my alley. I love Civ games, so you know this.
Yep.
Another one that I'm probably going to end up picking up for myself, even though I have Archaeo Society. I do like Ethnos. I do like the dudes on a map. And this is Ethnos 2nd Edition.
It looks so much better.
So much better.
I can see the colors.
Yes. I did hear a little bit of gripe from what people were saying is like the cards don't really work as well as the Ethnos cards.
Right. I worry about that.
But I want to see it to believe it, but it looks really good, and I see no problem having both because one's more of an area majority while the other one's moving up tracks depending on how you're going to go.
Yeah.
So they'll both be fine. I do like Ethnos, and I was happy about Archaeo Society just because I wanted to play a game that was very good for my colorblind friendly or unfriendliness that Ethnos originally was.
Yeah, and I can't believe that some publishers are still making games that aren't colorblind friendly.
Yeah, oh my god.
Like, yo.
Come on, man. There is tools out there that can help you.
I'm not saying this because we recently played one or anything.
It was your pick, by the way.
I know. I know. Darn it.
As well as...
Great game, though.
A game here that was announced, no information about it, that has me intrigued. I don't know if it's going to be a miniatures game, if it's going to be a riff on a CMON game that's already out there. I don't know what it is, but it's called Marvel Invasions. They did not give any other information that it was coming out next year. I don't know if it's going to go. It's more than likely going to be crowdfunding because that's just what they do nowadays on GameFound. But who knows? And then finally, the one that I am excited about, we were having a private discussion in our chat about the monstrosity that they're coming out with on their next GameFound, and this is the Cthulhu Death May Die expansion, which will be going to crowdfunding. There's rumors that it's going to go in December or after Christmas, Q1 or Q4 this year, who knows. But it's going to come with like a 3-foot tall Godzilla mini. At that point, it's not a mini. It's like a major mini.
Yeah.
It's going to be
a small child.
And it's going to be the size of the Cthulhu mini that came out originally. And then they're going to give you decks where you can have the Godzilla creature face off against the Cthulhu creature, and then you have to choose your side. And I'm Godzilla every day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, who would pick who wouldn't pick Godzilla over Cthulhu? I mean, like, I know there's some big Cthulhu fans out there, but really, Godzilla is so much cooler.
Yeah, no, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping it's after Christmas because GameFound. It'll be dumb for them to put this in December, in all honesty. Because, yeah, I want it. It's going to be stupid price, too. On a brighter note, I do like GameFound because it can make it in smaller chunks. It's a lot more helpful than Kickstarter is at times. In fact, I back more on GameFound nowadays than Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yep, makes sense.
But with that being said, that is our news.
I'm just enjoying our chat. Thank you, Illuminus and Gray, both. That is hilarious stuff. I like how they're still going with the puns, but alright, so yeah. Alright, so let's begin today's episode. But first, before we do so, we brought this up at the beginning of the episode. We have an ultimate game, an amazing game, Ultimatch, cooperative little card shedding game from our friends at Fireside Games. You bought an extra copy just so we can give it away.
Oh, yeah.
They are not sponsoring this. They are not paying us to praise their game. They don't even know that we're doing
They offered to give us a review copy of this game, and I told them no because I want to support you guys.
Yes, like we'd rather buy it and then review it as well. Yeah, no, they're awesome. Bizarre the game. Okay. I'm not sure.
But with that being said,
that. Anyway, that distracted me. But yeah, we have a bunch of different ways that you can enter into this contest for a copy of Ultimatch, a sealed copy from Daniel's personal collection that he bought, spent his own money. So support us, support him.
Right behind there.
Let's have this mutual exchange here. You guys support us, we want to support you too. How are you going to enter? Let's tell them some of the ways.
Subscribe to us or follow us on Twitch. You can get bonus subscriptions, 3 of them, if you subscribe to us, but that is not needed. Just follow us on Twitch. We'll get you an entry.
Yep.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Again, you don't have to spend money over there. In fact, we're not a part of the partner program right now, so just subscribe. That gives you an entry there. You can also listen to our podcast and get a special code word, which we'll be giving to you here in a minute. And you can enter through our email at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. In the subject line, put contest. In the body, put the code word in a way to get a hold of you. Again, it is only continental United States. Do you want to tell everybody what the code word is this week?
Today, since it is the season, our code word is family time. And that's actually a very appropriate code word, really.
Yeah.
Because Gamewright is all about family weight games. And when we talk about the description of them, it's going to make a lot of sense why we picked that. Mm-hmm. Thanksgiving here in the United States is coming up real soon. And we thought, what better time or way to spend time with friends and family than bring out some family weight games and enjoy it with them. We hope that breaking this down today will give you some good recommendations on various games. And we are looking forward to doing that. And family time will be 2 words. But, if you
just say family time, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll get that you got the gist.
Yeah.
That's what matters. So again, subscribe to us, follow us on all the social media stuff, like that. All that stuff gets you.
Also, follow us on Instagram. That gives you an entry.
Yep. So up to 10 entries. Also listen to our previous episodes as well. If you're listening to this now, you can actually hear the previous ones. We'll normally close it a couple weeks after we give our last code word, and we'll announce our winner during one of our podcasts. So be listening for that.
Yep. We will announce the winner on, let me see here.
Probably
be the end of just after Thanksgiving when we record our December cycle.
Yep.
So it'll be a week before the 2nd of December.
Yep. Yep. We'll announce it live, but of course that's when it'll come up on our podcast platform. Yep. So you'll be able to hear it from there. We'll leave it open for some time.
With that being said, let's get into today's episode. We're breaking down the gameography of Gamewright Games because we're masochists.
Yeah. This is just practice until we eventually get to like Reiner Knizia. Here we go to the description. Based in Newton, Massachusetts, Gamewright was founded in 1994 by 4 parents whose kids wanted great games. From the start, our mission has been remained clear: create the highest quality family games with outstanding play value, guided by themes and experiences that transcend age and salted with a bit of irreverence. Our games are designed to foster laughter, learning, friendship, and fun. Do you think that's an adequate description of their...
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
Our family has grown to cover over 50 games. Sir, you need to update that because I had like 200 something on the list. I skipped some extras or some sequels and some promos that are tagged in here, but yeah. But the first game on our list is the first one that pulls up.
Real quick, I have some questions for you about Gamewright.
Okay.
What was the first game that you remember playing from them?
That one's simple. It's Dragon Realm? Dragonwood.
Okay.
Dragonwood, that's the one it was called.
Mine was probably Sushi Go.
I actually played Dragonwood before Sushi Go.
Oh, okay. What do you think was the first one that you realized it was like, oh, this is another Gamewright game? Like, what was the game where you first started going, okay, like now I understand the publisher?
I was later to the group. I would have to say when they followed up like Trash Pandas and Abandoned Artichokes right next to each other. Yep. But even they were slightly on my radar, but they weren't really on my radar.
Right. And then when did you start when were they officially on your radar with what game?
What is that one called? It's the Phil Walker Harding one. The first one.
Forbidden Island?
Phil Walker Harding, Forbidden Island, really?
Never mind, that's Matt Leacock. My apologies.
It's it was the follow-up from Silver and Gold. It was the flipping card game. I pulled it up just not too long ago.
We'll bring it up in a bit.
But it's it's like bingo.
Super Mega Lucky Box.
That one, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I would say the first one that I really realized their name was Forbidden Island. And then the first time I started really following was Dragonwood when that came out. I was like, wow, this is a great little family weight game.
Yeah, no, I didn't really... Like I said, I was later because it was like Abandoned Artichokes, and then the other one was Trash Pandas, and then they came out with Super Mega Lucky Box, and that's when it was like all these little small card games, and then right after that I started playing Quicks a lot more because that was around the COVID era, and we were playing a lot of online games and stuff like that, and Quicks was one of the easiest ones. In fact, I still have my dry erase boards that were given to us from Gamehead Geek.
Oh, yeah.
When we were playing it.
That's right. And then lastly, what is your favorite Gamewright game? If you had to pick a favorite.
If I had to pick a favorite, ooh, this is tough.
I know, there's a lot to choose from.
I have to say the one that we played the most is Abandoned Artichokes.
Okay. I would say probably my favorite, and it could be, depending on what day you ask me, probably Shifting Stones.
But if I had to pick my favorite game out of everything, we play Abandoned Artichokes a lot, and that is right up there because it's a good little filler game. But if game that gives you that satisfying feel, it's Forbidden Desert.
Okay, I can agree with that. Cool. Shall we begin?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna flip the coin of doom. You're starting us off, Daniel. Let's go.
All right, so as I was starting before he decided to take us off tangent over here.
No, that wasn't on tangent. That was very much on point. And
it's something we don't normally do.
We just need to be clear that we are heavier gamers, right?
Yeah.
Especially you, right? I play a little bit of everything, but I didn't mean that as a jot to you. But I mean, look at your game collection, right?
I've lost enough weight.
No, sir, that was not a personal... No, if you look at your game collection, stuff like heavier games like Gloomhaven, and we played TI4 this year, and Mansions of Madness, or not Mansions of Madness, but
I think I have a good mix because I got the Kennerspiel over here. I have some Spiel des Jahres over here.
Yeah,
I have kid table board games on my shelf over here.
No, I know, but generally speaking, it's we're now at the point where we're seasonal or season gamers, right?
Yeah, this is the end of my 10 years in board gaming. Next year will be 11 years in board gaming. So.
Right, exactly. And this is just I want to sing its praises for just one quick second because it's worth knowing that gamers still really appreciate a lot of these games.
Oh yeah.
So if you're a heavier gamer and you're okay with a family level game, this is the very first company I would absolutely encourage you.
Another reason why I like Gamewright Games a lot. One, they're not heavy-handed. They don't take hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. A lot of their games, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
What I like about that as well is I can take this and play a lot of their games with grandma or my nieces or my nephews and stuff like that. Or I can take it to the heavier gamers and we just played a 6-hour session of Twilight Imperium, as you were making mention, and then we could just bust out Trash Pandas just to kill some time.
Right, exactly.
To just cleanse the palate almost.
And Illuminous said the first game that they played was Sushi Go, and Forbidden Island was first on the radar.
All right, so the first game on the list here was 1991, 3 of a Crime.
Yep.
2 to 6 players. There are 7 thieves on each of the 35 cards shown, some combinations of 3 of them. One player acts as the eyewitness and secretly looks at one of the cards. The other players will then try to deduce the 3 thieves on this card. They do so by revealing 1 card at a time from the deck. The eyewitness places a 0, 1, or 2 chip to indicate how many of the thieves are on his card. The player that correctly identifies the 3 thieves that the eyewitness saw solves the crime. Then the next player becomes eyewitness, and the first player to solve all 3 crimes wins the game. I actually like the sound of this one.
I almost bought this. And I found it at the thrift store, and I was like, you know what? And then I read some of the
so-so reviews.
The so-so reviews. I'm like, okay, and I passed on it just because of time. But I very much was considering it. I probably should have, honestly. I tend to like Gamewright Games stuff, and the fact that they started off with a deduction game, I think they brought it to the United States later on because this came out in '91, but still, I would still do it again.
I went with how it was yearly release, so how we normally do it.
All right, Loot. This is a Reiner Knizia game. It's about pirate hunting. Pirates, captains plunder merchant ships for gold and glory. I've had the opportunity to buy this, again, at thrift stores. I see it pretty often since it's one of their older ones. I do want to try this now knowing that it is...
I've seen this cover.
Yeah, I've seen that cover as well. In Loot, players send out their pirates to attack and defend trading ships in order to get the most gold coins. The game box consists of 78 cards consisting of trading ships, pirate ships, captains, and an admiral. Players send out a trading ship on a voyage, it must survive a round of attacks from other players' pirate ships. You defend with traders with your own pirates and collect the spoils of your attacks elsewhere. The game ends when the deck is depleted and one player is out of cards. The player with the most gold coins wins. Yeah, very simple. Something that I'd be willing to play now knowing it's a Knizia and knowing it's a Gamewright.
So that is their cover. That's why I know that one.
Yes, that is officially their cover. Yeah, cool.
Because it has the logo on it. Because I've never seen this cover.
I've seen it once before, and I had.
It has their logo right there too.
That's in a tin.
Yeah, that's totally Gamewright.
You would have avoided it. Yeah, that's their newer cover, I believe.
All right, so the next game on our list here is Claymania. Pictionary for sculptors. Originally released in 1993. In all honesty, we're not going to try to be too much about these, but this one is just a party game. I want to say kind of like Barbosa or something like that. You're just building stuff out of clay and trying to get people to guess it.
Yep.
I think they're coming out with a new game that's along this line too. Not Gamewright, but I heard on one of the news that
there's a lot of different like games that have been like it gives you a thing of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And you have to sculpt your way instead of Pictionary. We get it. It's cool.
First of 5 color tokens wins. But yeah, it's interesting, but it's not up my style.
Yeah, fair enough. Eagle Kingdoms, one of their older reviews, and man, that ranking is pretty tough.
Tough, yeah. All right.
But I'm still curious about it. A 3.5 average. Roll the dice to get characters to populate your kingdom. Let's read what it is. Unique board game with the origins of medieval Europe festivals. Okay.
We just had a Ren Fair recently, too.
So. We did. I would play this there. Players compete to build a kingdom of charming and humorous medieval characters. The characters are captured by rolling the dice, and any combination of luck and strategy. The game builds to a surprising end. The player with the most complete kingdom is the winner. I'm not sure what makes it an exciting end or a surprising end. Maybe by chance. I don't know.
Oh, this art is hard, though, man.
I mean, I like how ugly that is, of course, right? But, like, it's very reminiscent of, like, the old books, right? Except not as good.
The old books had better art.
Except not as good, right? I mean, look at number 7 over there. Like the fat guy. He's funny looking. Yeah, that's... All right, so that's Eagle Kingdoms.
Moving on to Slamwich. Children's game. It's ranked 964 as a children's game.
Overall ranked 27,000. Yeah, this is one of their lowest ranked.
It is to claim sets of sandwich ingredients by slamming your hand down the fastest. And I already don't like the way this goes.
I know, you hate slapping games.
I hate slapping games.
Yep.
Oh, I can't stand that.
I have played this. I remember it's
real-time pattern recognition card games such as Twitch, Set, and Bongo, so it plays a lot like those.
Yep.
Cards that are die-cut to resemble slices of breads topped with sandwich items, sandwich thieves, and sandwich munchers.
Which arguably this has the best container. This is the only time I justify a tin because
it looks like a lunchbox?
Yes. That's great.
So think Taco Cat goat cheese for modern your flipping cards.
Yep.
If a card is identical under it, you slap the pile. If 2 identical cards have exactly 1 card in between them, a slamwich, slap the pile. A thief is placed on top of the cards, slap the pile. It's all about slapping the cards. And don't get me wrong, kids would love games like this. Yeah. I remember growing up, like Spoons was one of the games we played a lot, when you're trying to slap and get to the spoons before anybody else does.
This is effectively Egyptian Rat Screw. ERS. Yeah. That's really kind of what it is.
Yeah, and so it seems okay. I'm not a big fan of slapping games. Speaking as someone who grew up in a Mexican household.
We used to play with hammers.
The chancla was a thing.
Well, all you gotta do is go to the dollar store and get some fly swatters.
That's even worse.
No, you're not slapping each other's hands. Like, you slap a mat in the middle, and then wherever it goes down. Yeah.
The next game, actually, when I was pulling it up, intrigues me.
Yeah. Mummy Rummy. I saw a version of this that's actually, I saw the older cover back in the day. Monty Stambler and Ann Stambler. Okay. I think they might be involved with the ownership of the company. I might be wrong, but rummy-based game where you're trying to form sets of Egyptian artifacts. 3 cards to a set. Deck is around 50 cards. Quirk here is some cards have 2 images on them, so they can belong to one of 2 sets. Score sets and deduct points from for the cards left in hand. Standard rummy style.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like kind of like a dual suited or a dual layered card, pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really neat. It looks like it's just like screenshots of ancient Egyptian.
Yeah, like artifacts and stuff.
Yeah, but it is one that I'm intrigued. I wouldn't mind trying. I do like Rummy. I think it's set collection game's really good.
Yeah, Rummy's great.
All right, so the next one here is Pandemonium, and here we go with the puns.
Oh yeah, Slamwich already started it.
So got quick reflexes and a good memory. Test your skills in this high-energy card game of musical mayhem. Players must make certain gestures as a certain musician cards are turned over, but make a wrong move and you collect the whole orchestra. Whoever gets rid of their cards first, it's a card shedding game.
Yeah, but it's you have to act out every step.
Yeah, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, it's charades with card shedding.
And here's some pictures of the artwork. It's decent
That's
artwork for...
That's very cute art.
For how an older game, it looks like cartoons of that era.
Yeah. It didn't need to be any more than that.
All right, next one.
Next one, Pegasus. Also rated...
Pegasus.
Oh, Pegasus. Oh, even better. I want that now. That's great. All right. Players try to get 2 matching pig cards and draw it by drawing and passing cards. When a player has matching pigs, he shouts Pegasus and slaps his hands on the table. The other player slaps their hands on top of his. The last player to do so receives a letter from the word Pegasus. When a player spells Pegasus, they're out of the game. It's a slapping version of Go Fish. That's how I get that from. I might be wrong. I might not. I don't know. Kids like putting each other in pain. So
you can tell a lot of these early games, they were parents making games for their kids.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to knock it. It looks interesting, some of these things.
Yeah. And I refuse to knock it because the thing is, these are what built into what the company is now.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be more appreciative of it. Keep up the good work.
The next one here is Quests of the Round Table.
Love the theme already.
Complete quests and win tournaments to become the first Knight of the Round Table. Designed by Scott Kimball. Let's see what the review here is. The game comes with 2 deck of cards. The story deck determines what happens on each player's turn. A quest, a tournament, or a special event. The adventure deck holds the allies, foes, weapons, tests, armor cards, which get dealt and drawn into the player's hands. Players begin the game as squires with lowly battles, strength of 5, and by earning shields to try to be the first to progress through the night and champion knight to become a Knight of the Round Table. I like the theme.
Yep.
The game sounds okay.
Yeah, the game sounds fine. I would play it. Absolutely.
I would try it, yeah.
Yeah. Frog Juice. All right, this one I am familiar a little bit of this. I don't remember having played it or not. Cast spells, brew concoctions, melt witches with just a little math. All right, let's go down to the description here. Cast spells, brew. All right, I just said that. Uses a smidgen of math and a pinch of probability. Capture cards. Smidgen of match. Yeah. My apologies. Capture cards by matching or adding cards from your hand, then count the ingredients and measure the powers. A splash of strategy and potion is magic. Okay.
Play with the most points wins.
I'm okay with a little bit of math going on in it.
That art is hard though, man. Oh my
god. That is an awesomely ugly cover. Just incredible.
All right, next game on the list here is The Legend of Landlock. Designer Edith Schlitting. Looks like it was also published by Amigo at one point in time too. So there's that. Let's see. Re-implements Ouija.
Yeah, okay.
It's a quick 2-player game where you take turns placing tiles that depict either bridges or streams. You're forming a 6x6 square. You score points by connecting your paths or streams to as many sides of the squares as possible and by isolating your opponent's stream or path. You may have to place tiles that not only help you and hinder your opponent, but also tiles that may hinder you and help your opponent. There's a depth of strategy that is bellied by whimsical art of cardboard tiles, similar to Carcassonne and Tayu, but plays more quickly.
Well, I mean, you had me at Carcassonne.
2002 Mensa Select. So
I mean, I did see a game similar to this called like Gold Ahoy, and I feel like it's kind of similar to that. I might be wrong though.
So here's the landlock thing.
Yep, there's the cover. Love gnomes. Gnomes are awesome.
So it looks pretty neat there. And then I did see the origination, the Weggy or Ouija or...
Yeah.
Let me go back over here. It's much easier to find it. There it is. And this is how the original game looked.
Oh, from Amigo. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would play it. I love tiling, so
All
absolutely.
Right. Next game on the list
Next
here.
Next one, Rat-a-Tat-Cat. This is one that I see at thrift stores all the time because there's a lot of versions of it. But this one's been out for a long time. Go down to the description here. Get rid of your rats and go for the cats. Rat-a-tat-cat is always less the better. I'm not going to read that whole thing.
No.
And you want to go out with the lowest score, so it's golf rules. Can you remember the numbers of another player's cards? Can you keep a poker face, but notice when another player looks pleased? Sharpen your memory and your timing. Have fun with the cool cats and the bad rats. Rat-a-tat-cat. This is the Gamewright version. I believe this is similar to like BS. Okay. As far as like cards go.
It does say it represents Bibarande, and you can see a little description about that. That was an Amigo game. So it looked like Gamewright was bringing like these little small card games over from...
Yeah, and they weren't just directly porting them. They were actually like rebranding them. Yeah. So that's cool.
So here's the... so you see the Rat-a-tat-cat cover there, and here's the other one, which I believe is a beaver.
Beaver Bende. Yeah.
Oh.
From 9.99 Games. Yeah, that's another... publisher.
All right. Next game on our list is Barnyard Critters, which was also published by Rio Grande Games from that cover, it looks like. Is a children's game designed by Reinhard Staup.
Yep. I tend to like his stuff.
Barnyard Buddies is a bunch of cards depicting various animals in different colors, are placed face up on the table. Each turn, one player reveals a card that depicts 4 animals, each in a different color. All players race to figure out the animal in color not depicted on the revealed card, and then grab the card on the table to show the colored animal combination. That sounds very interesting. I do not have the quick thinking for that kind of game.
Yeah, now it's been rebranded as Big Top and a few other different versions. Pippo, as we can see there. Click on this one. Click on that cover. I want to see what this is about. Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness. What is up with those animals?
He's a farmer and the animals are trying to hide from him.
I guess so, man. That is terrible.
He doesn't want to be Christmas dinner.
Or maybe they're trying to like snicker because they put down the rake and he's about to turn around and step on it and do the comical like slap himself in the face with it. I mean that horse has like terrible like anyway. Let's go. Next one, Ricochet. Ooh.
This is right up your alley.
Ooh, yes. I've not seen this before, but I like that cover. It's pinball themed. Reinhard Staup again. I'm a fan. Put your reflexes to the test is full tilt action card game. Follow the pinball as it zooms and zips from bumper to bumper. And use number cards and color cues to figure out which card it will bounce to next. Spot the last place the ball will go. And win the card.
Agree, Crate. I agree.
The player, that was pretty rough. The player with the most cards is the pinball wizard. Okay, so
I can tell you
up those cards right there. I want to see.
I can tell you one thing I don't like about this game. I don't want a pinball game in card form.
Right, I've played a couple, and they don't tend to be great. What I don't know. And what I'm trying to figure out is like what they mean, like where the ball will go. Like, because we see the numbers like 1 and 44, 46, 32, 14 in yellow, right? But,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm intrigued, but I don't understand just by the game itself. So,
all right, moving on. We're still in the 90s. Honor of Samurai.
Ooh, those tiles.
Yeah.
Oh, but those okay. It gets better.
Yeah.
That's not all.
That's just one of the original covers. The game recreates the atmosphere of Sengoku era in Japan's history, the struggle among the feudal lords, the daimyos, to install a strong and legitimate shogun. To install themselves as shogun, that is. Each player takes the role of one family of samurai in the daimyo they serve. They use honorable weddings, weapons, cultural sponsor, military power to increase the honor of the family and attack each other until one of them reaches a previously stipulated amount of honor. Whoever reaches the honor in the first place is the winner in the new shogun.
I'm intrigued.
It's intrigued, but man, that original cover was... But these cards look pretty good.
Yeah, those are cool looking. The daimyos.
Mm-hmm.
I like that style on it. Again, I can't tell, like...
I don't know which one is which, but I mean, that first cover, though, it looks interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say no to playing it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first cover is questionable, but the rest of it, I don't know. Looks kind of neat.
Scott Kimball.
Yep. I don't know anything else he does. Alright, cows can't dance, but they will like to be asked. Is the name of this game. I don't know. In this outrageous card game, cows and bulls dance, but only by invitation. Pair a cow with a bull and earn extra points. Match dancer cards with the same suit to use your Madame Fifi card to cut in for the dance lesson. I love this theme. This is so awful. I love every minute of this. Earn points for each pair on your dance floor. The player with the most pairs wins.
I don't know. This art is a little rough, though.
That looks so great.
I'm assuming that's Madame Fifi right there.
I would assume so. But look at that bull. That is the fun. Like, this is so good. This art is amazing. It's so good. Oh my goodness. I want this.
Yeah, of course
I
you
want
do.
this in my collection. It doesn't look like it's a good game at all, but I want every minute of this. That's and look at the new art. Like, what is this?
I don't know if that's the new art or the old art.
I don't know. But I want this so bad. I want that version, the one with the creepy bull, like who's all snickering. Oh, hey cow, how's it going?
Oh god. All right, moving on to Filler Up. Oh wow, look at that rating.
Better. All right, here we go. Go on now. Wait, what was the rating? I didn't even see.
3.4.
Oof. All right.
The object of the game is to get the cars back on the road. You got to fix flat tires, help lost travelers, tow stuck cars. You draw a Help Me card from the deck and match it to all fixed card at the friendly service station. Each time a problem is solved, one player advances her service station dial, and the other player puts the matched pair back on the road. The game ends with all problems are solved, all cards are back on the road, and all players have happy cars showing their service station dials.
It's cooperative, so that's always cool. But yeah, I mean, it's rated pretty low.
And the art is not helping it.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I don't
well,
like
you know, this is before the day and age of texting and driving, so they were probably trying to play with the radio or something.
Yeah.
Showing our age there on that one.
Yeah, that's true. No, guys, like, look at the sad car thing with the tongue sticking out.
Oh, my God. All right, moving on.
All right, Stone Soup, which I already like the theme because I like the old story of the Stone Soup.
Yeah.
All right, but players must add ingredients cards to the Stone Soup in a specified order. Players may add or discard to the pot as many cards of that ingredient that they have in their hand, or as many as they are willing to bluff about. In fact, the active player doesn't have a particular ingredient; he has to bluff. In addition to ingredient cards, there's also 6 stone cards. The only way to get them out into the pot is to bluff. BS again. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
The thing about this, and again, we're not trying to knock Gamewright. These are some of the earlier games. You could see the footing that they're going with here.
Yes.
Eventually, they're going to get to really good games. And I'm not saying any of these are bad games per se, but it's not something a gamer would love. But pretty soon, we'll be coming up to like Forbidden Island, stuff like that. And you're looking at this and be like, how did they go from here to here?
Right.
It's because they worked at it.
I'm looking forward to when we start talking about ones that I've played.
Yeah.
So far, I've only played, I think, one of them.
I haven't played any of these.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one on the list here is Dish It Up. In this one, each player receives a guest check that indicates 4 items, chef and 3 different types of food, as guests at their Good Eats diner has ordered. Shuffle and place 40 meal tiles, 8 cooks, 8 main dishes, 8 beverages, 8 side orders, and desserts. 4 cranky customers, 2 Mikeys, and 2 mitts face down. On each turn, players can turn over 2 tiles for all to see. If any of the tiles match what is one of their guest checks, keep the tile and place them on the check. If you match both tiles, the player may turn over 2 more. Once a menu on the check is completed, then the player receives a $1 tip. The game ends with the $1 figure of tips is attained, which depends on the number of players of the game. So it's basically memory on steroids.
Yeah, it's memory with like order fulfillment.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. It's a kid game.
Yeah, and it's actually, I like memory games for kids because it's a pattern recognition thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially when you're adding the like, hey, this is what you're looking for. Now, this got flipped up earlier. You know where it's at. Try to find the other things. So
I'm cool with that.
All right, moving on.
All right, Make It Up. So this is ages 3 and up. How's it made? What's in it? The game that puts things together. How do you make a sweater? Where do dogs come from? What do you use to build a treehouse? Figure out what goes together, then make a match. The Parent's Guide explains more on how things
This
are
is educational.
made. Yeah, and so it's a conversation thing.
Yeah,
so.
and it's
Okay.
for 3 and up, so it's
Sure.
basically trying to get your toddler to correlate wood makes houses, yarn
Sure.
makes sweaters and stuff like that. So
Okay, sure. Why not?
yeah, Duck Bruce. This looks like Nintendo would sue your pants off for this cover.
They've probably changed it since then.
A simple push your luck card game with the mechanics similar to Can't Stop.
I'm in.
Yeah, players reveal cards from the draw pile one at a time and may stop at any point and collect the cards in their score pile. However, if 2 fish of the same type are revealed, the player loses those cards and all cards in between, as well forfeiting his turn. An octopus card, when revealed, also in the turn and costs the player the other cards turned up on that turn, but allows players to attempt to steal cards from other players' score pile. Only the biggest fish of a type in a player's pile counts for scoring. Game is to 77 points. Perhaps this is a nice round number in Germany.
I don't know what that comment is either. I read that and I was like, wait, what? Okay, I mean,
it looks
Press Your Luck
neat.
is always fun.
It's a press your luck game. The art's fine.
Yep.
I don't know what the negative number on the die. It didn't really mention any die on there, so.
No. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Sure, I'd play it. Horse Show.
Speaking of covers.
Yeah. Who will take home the blue ribbon, pick the best horse, and enter the show? All right. Attempt to bring 4 different shows. Okay. Each show, every player selects 5 cards, combination of horses and equipment. Take the show. The events are revealed, and simultaneously each player reveals which horse they have competing in that event. Highest total wins the ribbon. The catch is the horses didn't get to go back to the player's stable, while the horses that did win are out for the rest of the game. Okay.
Interesting. It's almost like and it has it in here as trick taking. It's almost like a child's trick taking style game.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
All right, moving on to Turn the Tide.
The first one I have played, yes. Or I've been wanting a copy of this. This looks really fun. It's a Stefan Dora.
Okay. Players are dealt 12 cards from a deck of 1 through 60. The remainder go back in the game for the whole game. They lay out marker cards and show other players the strength of their hand. Another scoring deck of 24 has values of 1 through 12. 2 cards from this deck are laid face up. Players will choose a card from their hand in secret and reveal them simultaneously. Simultaneous selection, I've always been a fan of that. Yep. Highest value play takes the lowest scoring card, which goes face up in a pile in front of you. Second highest takes the other card likewise. Remaining cards are discounted. Then looking at everyone's face up deck, the highest scoring player turns one of his or her marker cards over. The original game had cockatoos becoming cuckoos. The edition is themed on lifesavers, okay? At the end of the round, players score according to their marker cards that they managed to save. There is a further twist. Players then pick up all their playing hand and pass it clockwise. So as each round commits, you are using the cards previously used by your neighbors. Are you smarter? Can you make a better fist of the same hand of your neighbor? That does sound interesting.
Passing is really neat. Because this is on Board Game Arena. I have played this. I want a physical copy because I remember playing that out. That was really intriguing because playing it out, sure, it's like, you're beholden to whatever you get. But after that first round, you literally pass it clockwise, your whole hand, and knowing what you had, that's when you have to try and assume when people are going to play what. Super cool. It works really well. And I do want a copy of this. That's why I wrote it down on my list. Because that's going on my wish list. Go Away Monster is the next one. Jump from a bag, decorate your bedroom, but watch out for the monsters. This looks like a game that's really kid-centric, which is fine.
Just got to threaten them with the lightsaber. They go away pretty quick.
That's true. They would probably go away pretty quick. Reach in the bag to find the puzzle pieces that fit your bedroom board. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're trying to, figure out, the shape of them.
Yep.
By pulling them, by reaching into the bag. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. It looks like
neat little kid game, 3 and up. So
sure, yeah. Set collection teaches them
shape recognition,
shape recognition, and a little bit of logic too.
Yeah.
All
right, next game on the list here is Lucky Catch. No description on there. So, with this funny fishing competition, each player needs a good memory, so it's a memory game. Otherwise, he'll catch an old shoe instead of a fish. Who is the most successful fisherman? Nice small memory variant with players rolling a colored die, and the fish die to determine which fish they're supposed to find. So yeah, it's basically you roll a die, it determines what you're trying to look for. And I'm assuming the person with the most fish win. So it looks pretty neat. It's, again, another children game. So moving on.
Cool. Dog Dice. Love the name. Wait, what is that, a kid with a club? Like on the die there? Okay.
It's a caveman.
Alright, apparently. Gameplay. Each player chooses a board. Their bingo boards, specifically. Let's do that. Game boards are 4x4 grids that show 4 dogs performing 5 actions. The dog are Gigi the poodle, McDuff the terrier, Gizmo the big dog, and Stretch the hot dog. That is 4 dogs. 4 dogs. The actions are food dish, the kid, the bone, the house, and in trouble. Dog die has pictures of the dogs on it, and the action dice have 5 actions and doggone on the face. Players take turns rolling the dice and marking their bingo cards with the bones wherever their bingo card shows the dogs rolled, performing the action rolled. If doggone is rolled, players must remove any bone from their bingo card instead. It's a dice-based bingo game.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Bingo was always fun when I was growing up. So.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it seems like a cool take on it.
Yeah, so here we go. Next game, Kit in Caboodle. 1 to 3 players. That's an interesting play range there.
Yeah.
Publisher says, Kit in Caboodle is a light-hearted attempt to explore how people think, organize, and categorize things in their lives. The structure draws on complexities of probability, set theory, the riddle of evolution, and psychology of perception. Actually, it's a dice game. It's very similar to Yahtzee or Kismet. Come on. You have 6 dice. Roll any dice, 1 or 2, 3, attempting to obtain dice combinations, fitting a scoring category. So it's literally Yahtzee. Instead of a number of combinations, though, you're mixing matching animals and their characteristics, plus a moon and a planet. For each turn, you must fill in a category on the scoreboard, so there are decisions such as whether to use a bird for a bird caboodle, or a wings kit, or shells kit. So instead of numbers, you're basically trying to... Here's a nook there. So yeah, you're trying to get sets of those. Oranges, birds, and reptiles. It sounds interesting enough. It's a riff on Yahtzee, so...
Yeah, like wings and shells. That's kind of cool. Or you do oranges.
Talk about set collection. People do collect shells and butterfly wings and stuff like that. So
yeah, why not?
All right, next one up.
Next one, Suds. This looks like a bathtub-themed game. Zabifuzz is a different name of it. So, 54 cards in a deck shaped like soap bubbles include hats, t-shirts, boxers, pants, socks, sneakers, and 3 wild cards. The object is to be the first player to play the last card in their hand. So, first player to play the last card, so shedding game. The deck is dealt out entirely. Depending on the number of players, some may have an extra card. The players played from this pile, 3 cards are drawn from her hand. Okay, anyway. The free-for-all begins. Someone plays a hat to the table. Any player may play a t-shirt onto that pile or start another. By playing another hat, after the card is played, draw a card or draw another from your pile. Sequence continues until the sneakers are played. Oh, okay. So you go from the top down, right?
Yeah.
You go hat, then then shirt, then probably pants, socks, shoes, something like that. Okay, fair enough. Like it looks like almost like a speed game. Oh, you have underwear as well. Okay, that's cool. That all makes sense. I hate the shape of those cards. I imagine that would be absolutely annoying to shuffle.
Yeah.
But the truth is, though, like this, it seems like a quick version of Dutch Blitz. You know, like where everyone's playing.
Sure.
Yeah, Dutch Blitz is a real-time one like that.
All right, moving on to the next one. Here is Hocus Focus.
Ooh.
From Reinhard Stopp. Oh god, I messed up over here. Let's go back up there. Fix that real quick. Okay, cool. 30 cards showing wizards. The wizards are all different, being small, medium, or large, and having different colored shoes, cloaks, hats, and spells. 12 cards are placed face up in front of the center table, along with the face down deck. 1 player turns over the card on top of the deck. All players try to identify a card from the table, which has nothing in common with the new card. So it's almost like one of the other games we talked about
earlier. That's cool. Yeah, but like the opposite end.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to find the odd one out. That's kind of cool. I like that.
All right.
I would totally play that.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Alien Hot Shots. I've heard of this one. All right, so this game not ranked very high. No, actually, I haven't heard of this one. Join the odds and the evens in their interstellar struggle to bring peace to the universe. Just as in the classic game of war, play with the highest card wins each hand. Okay, cool. It's war.
It's war.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have
with some more stuff, of course.
Dots.
Dots.
Fasten your safety goggles. It's up and at 'em.
Oh no. I think I've played this game before. No, I've played a different one. Okay.
The cards have a variety of shapes, cubes, rods, cones, spheres, floating in space. Cards are dealt to the table, and players must declare the total number of dots correctly first. That was simple enough. Let's move on.
Yep, so you have to try and remember, like, what of certain types there are. Okay, cool. Alright, Lily's 3 for All. This is another kid's game.
2 or 3 players.
2 to 3 players. That's kind of weird. Alright, ages 4 and up. Lily has 3 shiny new cards that she couldn't wait to show everybody. 1 for creative days, 1 especially difficult days, and another for days where she felt sharp as a tack. For a game where you match a picture, play Picture This Please to match the picture by color and suit. Try Mr. Slinger's Dress Up Suit, or play Mouse Connection to match the people and connect the cards. I know how all those words work individually. I don't understand that as a group of what I just read.
Okay.
All right.
Lily's Purple Plastic Purse Game. 3 and up, peek at the card, then make up a story about them. It's a story board game to help kids be creative.
Cool. We're going to jump through a few of these. Game, set, match.
It's a 12-minute game, apparently.
Yep, right hot stove. Here we go. 4 variants to choose from. They all rely on cards that have 4 different objects, 4 different colors on them. So it's a 4x4. And in the course of the cards, or game cards that are set next to one another following placement rules, whoever gets rid of their cards wins. Cool.
It's moving on to Crash Pilot. Rewards players who can quickly match shapes and colors. There are 6 rows of cards representing airplane stunts, and no row may contain 2 cards of the same color or shape. Each turn, a player draws a card from his pile, or on the first turn from a neutral pile. Then all players try to find a legal placement for that card. The first player to do so draws a card from his pile to start the next turn. Calling an incorrect row earns that player a crash chip, and 3 crash chips eliminates them from the game. The first player to run out of cards wins.
I mean, that sounds fun, but it's also known as Checkout, which is another version of it. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Why not? I love that theme, though. Play Ball is another older one of theirs. Be the first to field a team of 9 of all 4 colors, but watch out. Just when you think you've got your bases covered, someone plays an extra card, and bam, you lose a turn, or the player, or the whole team. No thanks. Bye.
Lily's Perfect Plastic Purse Counting Game.
Is Lily like a kid's cartoon character or something?
I have no clue. Maybe it's something that one of their kids created.
Yeah.
So it's a matching pairs game. Find the 2 puzzle pieces that go together.
Cool.
Next up,
Toot and Puddle Game. I was not expecting that name. All right, Toot and Puddle are best friends. Toot is a traveler, Puddle is a homebody. They both love adventures, just different kinds. In this game, you go along with Toot while he sees the world, but don't forget about Puddle.
Now you see why he likes Gamewright Games so much.
Who is Toot and Puddle.
Basically, you have 4 postcards. Players roll and move along a track with some spaces that include a stamp symbol. It's a standard children's game.
Yeah.
A roll and move almost.
I can't. I just can't do it.
Mike Mulligan and his team shovel opposite game.
What is going on?
So basically, you're trying to match 2 puzzle pieces that are the opposite of each other and fit them together to make a pair.
All right. Ooh, Zoom Out. Oh, wow. That's a 90s cover if I've ever seen it. Players take turns playing their cards in an effort to be the first to run out of cards. In addition to wild cards, Zoom cards allow players to play out of turn if they have the correct card. That's always fun. Whoever wins one hand and creates a new rule to affect all future games. In this way, all future games, so you actually physically add a rule. This is the first legacy game. All right, may contain... in this
it's
way, later
inspired by
games
the Zoom TV series. I knew it by that cover because my nephews watched it.
I'm not familiar with that, but I love that this was the first legacy game.
PBS show.
Okay, cool.
Next up here is you have ice blocks. Simple abstract strategy game, somewhat reminiscent of Connect 4. Place cubes to form a pyramid. Score points for having cubes of your color in a row, horizontal or diagonal. Bigger rows are worth an increasing number of points.
Who designed this?
The Monty Stambler and Ann Stambler.
Cool.
Pretty nice pieces.
Love the blocks. Those are cool looking. Those look incredibly painful to step on.
Yeah.
But super cool looking. Awesome. 7 Safari. I love that cover. That's great. All right. David Parlett, which I've heard his name before, I think. Lions and rhinos and birds. Oh my. 7 Safari players participate on a wild animal adventure. The mission is to scout the jungle and collect as many different animals as possible for as many points. Turn over a face down card on a grid of cards and replace it with a card from your hand. Okay? The card that is in each row and column may never have more than one of each animal. Players have different points on their cards, and only one card will count as positive points. More than one of a type will count negative points at the end. Hyenas, however, are always negative. Okay, cool. Originally titled in Germany. Okay. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, sure. Moving on to Hack Attack, which also has a very low rating on this
Low
one.
rating, but man, I dig that a little bit.
12 plastic pieces of green, orange, and purple. 6 of these pieces are cubes, and 6 are pyramids. There are 12 board strips with green, orange, and purple squares. The object of the game is to get one of each color, green, orange, and purple, of your game pieces. One player's cubes, one player's pyramids, in a row, vertically or horizontal, on the matching color of the board strips. The boards are shuffled and dealt out 6 to each player. The first player lays one of their board strips and places one of their game pieces on the squares. Game pieces must be played on squares of the same color or same. I'm thinking that's supposed to be of the same the game piece. I don't know. It seems fine. It's almost like a strategy game, deduction. You're trying to play out your pieces properly.
Yeah.
Looks okay.
Mean, I'm intrigued, but that low rating makes it scary, you know?
Yeah.
All right. The next one. Pinocchio, also from Amigo Games. They printed both of them. Cool. Oh, yeah, you're growing his nose. That's totally what you're doing in this game. Players try to get rid of their cards by placing them face down in a common pile. Players represent Pinocchio's hat, shirt, trousers, shoes, bows, and come in 3 colors. To play a card, players must put in the same pile declaring either type and color, matching one of the attributes of previously played card. So it's kind of like Uno. Next player may call a bluff, so you're putting a face down unless the Uno counts. Okay, so ERS meets Uno. Cool.
Moving on to Elephant Trunks. Help Emmett pack his suitcase before the mouse dumps it. In Crafty Badger, aka Elephant Trunks, players are trying to pack clothes into luggage, but a cheeky badger keeps interfering with your work. Each player starts the game with clothing of one type, cap, shirt, few other 4 players. On the turn, the player rolls the dice. If the dice shows a color, the player places one of the items in the suitcase of that color. If the badger sits next to the suitcase, he places 2 items instead. If, however, the dice shows a badger, the player must open the suitcase and reclaim all the items packed inside, even if they weren't his to begin with, and then moves the badger to the next suitcase in the circle. So you're basically, it's in a sense, card shedding, with a little, hopefully the dice doesn't roll in your favor.
Yeah, I like how it comes with the tins that you're loading in the suitcase. That's cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Originally a Haba game.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Awesome. Next one is Chomp. I've played this one, at least I think I have.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
Well, this is an electric eel, apparently.
Yeah. 6+, the game consists of a specialized deck, 52 cards depicting various sea creatures on the food chain: plankton, shrimp, little fish, big fish, seal, and shark. The higher creatures on the food chain, the more types of creatures it can chomp. Creatures cannot chomp their own kind, nor can they eat anything higher up on the food chain, which makes sense. Nobody can chomp the octopus or an electric eel, which are special action cards in the game. The game is a rather old card game like War, with the superior creature chomping the others. And
I was going to say, it's War.
Yeah, War, but it's like trick-taking at the same time.
Yeah, so here is some artwork on this game, which is really good.
Yeah, that shark coming out of the water is pretty awesome.
All right. Moving on, the next one here is Go Bananas. That's not an invitation for you. 55 cards, 20 monkey cards.
Puddle for you.
The deck is dealt out to all players who make a face-down pile in front of them. Players take turns over the top card of their deck simultaneously and place the card in the center of the table. Players attempt to be the first to spot one of two types of matches. 2 different colored cards with the same value on 2 different piles, or 2 different colored cards of the same value on one player's pile. The first player to spot it slaps the pile and shouts, "Go bananas." Then that player takes the piles. The first player to collect all the cards in the deck is the winner.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say about that.
Yeah.
All right, Buzz Out. All right, Buzz Out is entertaining card games that teaches kids about numbers and counting, as well as elementary strategy. Okay. Hand management, memory, open drafting. Cool.
Moving on to Mike Mulligan and his Steam Shovel Dig It action game.
Okay, that must be an IP, right?
Steam Shovel Marianne, in their race to dig a cellar in just one day, use your Steam Shovel flippers to flip pieces of dirt into the back of the Popperville Trucking Company. Each time your dirt hits the mark, another Popperville person joins your crowd to watch you dig. The first player to collect a crowd of 5 Popperville people wins. So it is a dexterity game.
Yep, they're little catapults. That's great. That's great. I love it.
That is.
I'm in.
I like this one.
Yeah, I like catapults. That's great. Little plastic catapults. That makes sense. Ka-ching! Re-implemented by Trader. Okay. I'm not familiar. That's awesome money looking. Ka-ching, or Combat, is another name for it. All cards are placed face up on the table. Both players alternate by buying one of 5 cards sitting on top, with the aim to form pairs of the same suit to resell as lucratively as possible. During a turn, you can either buy 1 card, sell 2 cards of the same color for an amount equaling to multiplying their 2 values together. That's cool. You can also have 1 card which you may sell in place of another card during the game. Okay. I'm okay with that. Set collection, trading for most points. I always like economic card games, so that's fun. Cool.
All right, sounds good. Got Milk. Collect 3 matching treats or else. It's an all-out food fight with everyone flinging their cards and scrambling to make matches. Get 3 of a kind, then spin the beverage roll and see if you can wash them down with a glass of milk. Watch out for pickle juice and Snell colas that will sour your appetite. The first player to get 8 milk tokens wins.
Do you think this is a tie-in to the campaign?
Probably.
Probably. Huh. All right.
Sure. Moving on.
All right. Oink! Love that art. Back to the classic art right there. Is that a pig in the style of the... Anyway. This is the game Spoons with little rubber pigs instead of spoons. Cool.
Cool. That's all I needed to know.
Yep. Great art, though.
Hiss.
I used to own this one.
Build a colorful snake and snake-making tile game. Players take turns to form snakes, which are as long as possible. A snake always consists of a head section, at least 1 middle section, and a tail section. The player who has formed the most and longest snake wins. Yep. Simple, distinct, neat.
Yep. Yeah,
not my choice.
One leads to another color. One sometimes leads to the same color. You're just trying to build it out. Yardmaster Express does this a little bit better now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cool. She's Charmed and Dangerous, the card game. She's Charmed and Dangerous. Pass it, match it, and grab it game. Is this Bop It? Players race to collect the fab foursome of the She's Charmed and Dangerous characters. Then grab cards from the center area before they all disappear. The last card left in the game is the Glamour Girl.
So some of the license they got in these games, I know nothing about.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Snap, the interlocking dragon making game.
Ooh, puzzle piece like.
Enter the dragon's lair, snap together dragons of all shapes and sizes in this game of strategy suspense. The longer the dragon, the higher your score. Rack up big points when you ally with a tiger. But watch where you connect your tiles. The game can change in a snap. For simple matching to strategic thinking, it's layers of funds with 4 games in one. Double snap, so there's extra stuff in there, but you're basically just making it's Hiss, but with a little bit more.
Yeah, with jigsaw puzzle style pieces. Cool. Cuckoo Zoo. Is it re-raid? Nope. Okay, cool. I just want to see that real quick. Oh, there is versions. All right. Kokataki is an Uno-style game which you must match the animal or a color on the top card of the discard pile in order to play a card. When you play a card, to make the appropriate animal sound. Okay. Yep. So it's a noise version of Uno. All right. Carry on.
Good. Eureka.
I used to own this one. This one was all right.
64 double-sided tiles, 16 claim tokens, 4 minor player pieces, 1 die, and a rule of play. The object game is the first player to find and claim 4 different gold nugget tiles. So it's basically almost a memory game.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was pretty all right for what it was. All right, foul play.
Not a good rating.
Not a great rating at all. Object of the game is to have the highest score by counting as many chickens cards as possible without turning over a wolf card. Oh, to press your luck. Yeah, that's right, because you're just dealing out chicken cards.
Until
if you
wolf.
pull a wolf, you're out.
Yep.
Yeah, I have played something. I think this one, but I might be wrong. I do remember it being kind of fun. I mean, press your luck is always fun.
Yeah, Canine Capers. Up of the game, the first player to collect all 9 cards in order from 1 to 9 to complete the dog show scene. 36 dog cards, 4 of each kind of dog, are shuffled and placed face down in a 6x6 grid. Roll a 6-sided die with the numbers 1 through 3 and turn over that number of cards and match the roll. If one of the cards matches the number the player needs, it can be taken from the grid and added to his or her collection. Face-up cards that cannot be taken are turned face down. If the player can collect all the cards turned up, he or she can roll the die again. Canine Capper is one of the games of the series-style 12-minute games produced by Gamewright. It seems fine.
Yeah, memory with dice rolling. Yeah, sure.
It's more like number climbing because you have to...
Yeah.
Sure.
Makes sense. All right. Blast off. Love the theme. Terrible rating. All right.
God, did it again.
That happens. All right. So the object of the game is first get rid of all your cards by matching colors or numbers or words at the right time. By completing missions correctly, each player receives 6 cards numbered from 1 to 10 of each of 3 colors. Remaining cards are placed face down in draw pile. Turnovers start the discard pile. On a turn, a player matches the card from his or her hand with the top card of the discard pile in either the color or the number. Or number or the color. The card is placed on the discard pile if unable to match. It's Uno.
A lot of those.
Lot of similar ones.
Lickety split. Sharp eye and some fast sorting fingers are all you need in this fun, frantic card game. Roll the color die, flip a card, and try to be the first player to find the matching object among your cards. Whoever collects the most cards wins.
Cool. Simple enough. The Scrambled States of America. I've seen this at a few places, but it's basically like a trivia game for maps. Quick, find the state that ends with letter A. Now find one that borders Tennessee, which are 8 states that do that. Have fun learning about the states in the madcap game of observation and quick reflexes. Cool. I mean, it's fun. Geography.
Kitty Corners. Your favorite theme. Finny's fishing for trouble and Meatloaf is hungry again. Roll the dice and catch the kitty's crazy antics. Match the 2 dice to square on your bingo card or bingo board. Then mark that square with a mouse. But watch out. Roll Scat Cat. It's the other game, but now cats instead of Doggone.
Yep.
It's a reimplementation of Doggone.
Yep. Picture Link. The path-making match game. Okay, cool. Can you see a trumpet? How about a rabbit that's pink? Now mark a path between them. In this clever game of links. Okay, that's kind of cool. You're putting like clear tiles on those, trying to link them together.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, we're going to try to speed run this until we get to some games that we know.
Yep.
Maya Madness.
I used to have this one too.
Adventure game, Ancient World, Maya, Numerology, card game of mystery and mathematics.
Yep.
Add, subtract the right combination of cards to claim your secret. So, Ryan Kanitia, did you make this game?
Right. Is it? It might be.
No, it's not. Play a wild jaguar to help reach your goal, but be careful. One misstep and you plunge in the other one. So it's another math, the card game.
Yeah, it was a very much like, well, you had to like have negatives and have like you're trying to get to a certain amount by adding and subtracting. Yeah, it wasn't bad actually. It was kind of a cool little game.
Well, you also like Lost City, so.
Match of the Penguins is rated a little bit higher. All right, cool. Schmicky Mickey is a card game for larger groups, up to 7 players.
Dude, we're a family-friendly show. Watch your language.
I know, right? Players with the fastest reaction wins. The cards show identical female pheasants drawn in a comic style. One player takes the shuffle deck and reveals one card after the other. If the player detects a clothing piece on 2 cards of the same color, they shout the correct name of the clothing piece. If there are more than one of the corresponding tiles, the pawn must be taken instead. So it's kind of like one of those speed,
pattern recognition games,
yeah. As you're dealing them out.
They do a lot of those.
They did. They used to do a lot of those.
All right, next one here is Top Speed. This one is 2 players racing to place their cards on 8 rows. Cards have 2 attributes, color and icon. On each row, there can only be 1 card with each color and each icon. Once a player empties their hand, the game ends. So basically, you're just trying to card shed faster than the other player, being strategic about it. So that's kind of neat.
Cool. All right, surprise! I want to say I've seen this one before. All right. You're invited to a surprise party. There's a lot of fantastic gifts if you can find them. The Dapper Dinosaur is in the box, or is the Dapper Dinosaur in the box, or is the Party Palace hiding there? Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you have like 2 different types of tokens. You put the type of present on top of the thing. You're trying to find the right ones. Whoever holds the most cards at the end of the game wins. Get ready. The party's about to begin. Yep.
All right. Stampede. Rushing rhinos and hurried hippos are on the charge. Lightning fast card game of quick reflexes. Try to assemble the most complete animals by gathering heads, middles, and tails before the deck runs out. Grab the rare pink elephants for a bonus. This is supposed to be a children's game. Pink elephants? Come on, man. But make sure all your animal parts match up or else you lose big points. Cool. High score wins.
All right. PDQ. Pretty darn quick. Another speed word game. Okay. Quick. Try to make out of words with SMP. Simple. How about PTR? Get the picture. In this lightning fast party game of PDW, it is an all-out race. The first player to shout out a word using all 3 letters. Each round starts with a different set of letters. It's up to you to fill in the blanks. However, whoever has the most cards at the end of the game. Was it simple enough? Yeah.
That is a decent description because it's actually teaching you the game by putting the consonants in there.
That's a great description. Yeah.
Leaping lizards. I like the little lizard meeples.
Yeah.
It's a leap to the finish, the colorful game of fast-moving reptiles. You choose a secret creature card, shake the cup, and pour out the picture tiles. Move your lizard forward or backward depending on what the tiles show. But look before you leap or else you could wind up on the back of the line. The first player to jump the finish line is the king of chameleons.
Okay.
I mean, it's a cutesy little game.
Yeah. There's a moose in the hoose.
Now that I think of it, this is probably the first game I've ever played.
Yeah, you have played this one?
Mm-hmm.
Back when you were a kid?
Nope.
Oh, ever played from this company?
From this company.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I believe a mutual friend brought it from one of the Gamma shows, and this is the first one that I ever played.
Okay. All right, well, fair enough. Scott Anderson is the designer. Moose in the house. Eek, there's a moose loose in the kitchen and another one in the bathroom. In the silly matching card game, the goal is to keep the moose out of your house while at the same time giving them to your opponents. Use a door to close off empty rooms, or if you're lucky, plant a moose trap to keep those lovable but uninvited visitors away. The player with the fewest moose wins.
I did not like this game.
No, I remember you not liking it.
So I take that back. I remember now what the actual first game was of Gamewright Games.
What?
Forbidden Island.
That was the first one you played?
Because it was one of the first games you ever taught me. It was one of the first games I ever played with Gamehead Geek.
Yep.
And you shuffled 2 Water Rises.
That's
the first
right.
2 turns.
Oh, man, that's right. Yep. That's right. Yeah, this one's not bad. This one's been in print, like, pretty much consistently.
Yeah, it's a fine game. I just didn't enjoy my gameplay of it.
Yeah.
Wig out. Flip your wig fast and furiously, combining hairstyles, mullets, pigtails, and coifs.
Wait, whoa, go up real quick. Forrest Preston. Creative.
Yeah. The predecessors of Prospero. Mm-hmm. Flip your wig for the fast and frenzy card game that will put your frizzy in a tizzy. Race against your opponents to get rid of cards by matching all kinds of color hairstyles, putting together a pair of pigtails, combine a couple of cornrows, match a mullet or some mohawks. The first player out of the cards is a cut above the rest. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if it's predecessor to them, it's probably decent.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is one of the first ones I've played from them. In a Pickle, I can tell you right now what this game is. You're having a bunch of word cards. You're trying to put them in order by what can be inside of another one. Like, does a sofa fit inside of a shopping cart? It all depends on how you size it up in this game of creative thinking, outrageous scenarios. So you're trying to justify it. Like, there could be something like as simple as, like, Galaxy. Well, can a galaxy fit in a marble? Well, have you seen Men in Black? Well, then, if you could justify how one fits into the next one, then you can play
so it's
the card.
Kind of like one of the first super fight type style games.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to argue and say, yeah, this works like this.
Right. But you're trying to play them in a way where it's like, okay, well, that can clearly fit into this, and that's why I'm playing it. And because of how things can change size depending on what they are, it could be, it can lead to some silly stuff.
All right. Next one on the list here is Space Race. Who's the...
Ooh, those dice.
16 glow-in-the-dark dice, 24 glow-in-the-dark tokens, along with rules for 4 different games. Space Race, Star Count, Rocket Roll, and Flip Out.
So, what is this rated?
5.1, so average.
Okay. But, I mean, man, those dice are dope.
They're nice-looking dice.
Yeah. Hula Hippos. I want to say I've had this. That sounds familiar. At least I've seen it. Alright, so, no, I haven't had this. Okay. In Hula Hippos, the members of the mice family are raced to jump into the mouse hole before the other families can, but they're stymied by the efforts by a mouse hole that never stands still. Each round, a player spins a wooden ring, making it rotate on the table. Before the ring slows and falls to the table, players simultaneously flick their mice tokens with their fingers to place them inside the mouth hole when it lands. Oh my god, this sounds great.
Yeah,
this
but
sounds fantastic.
The American version is the Hula Hippos, where you're circus hippos that are encouraged to leap through the hoop.
I like that a lot. That sounds so good.
That's right up your alley.
That is 100%. Like, that sounds great. You're trying to figure out where they're going to land? Okay.
Sleeping Queens. I've seen this one. I've never actually played it. Rise and Shine.
I played it. It's pretty cool.
The Pancake Queen, the Ladybug Queen, and 10 of their closest friends have fallen under a sleeping spell, and it's your job to wake them up. You need to use strategy, quick thinking, and a little luck to rouse these napping nobles from their royal slumbers. The 12 queen cards lie face down on the table. On your turn, you take one action from the cards in your hand. Play a king to awaken and claim a sleeping queen. Play a knight to steal someone else's queen unless she has a dragon for protection. Play a potion to send a queen to sleep once again unless she has a wand for protection. So basically, it is a take that, bluffing, trying to set collect and stuff like that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's actually better than what that sounds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's great. It's pretty decent. They made a sequel to it. Me and my daughter have played it, and it's good for kids. All right, Granny Apples. I don't know about this one. Roll Them Apples, a fast-action dice game.
I've seen
Race
this one.
against your opponents to collect or count the exact number of apples scattered in play. Watch out for birds, worms, and apple pies that take away from the total. Count as quickly as you can to be the first to add, or first to shout the answer, but don't make a mistake or else you'll lose half your apples. Player with the most apples when Granny's basket is full wins.
All right.
Simple enough.
The Scrambled States 2, the one we were mentioning earlier, geography type thing. Yep. This one looks like it has a cards instead of a map.
Yeah. Castle Keep. I've owned this one too. So, again, you're building castle with tiles, pretty much. The medieval strategy game of Siege. Raise your castle, raise the enemy. In this clever game of medieval maneuvers, build a castle with walls, towers, and keep them matching by color, shape, or both. When you use your tiles to strengthen your fortress or attack vulnerable opponents, choose wisely, as you may find your royal ruins. The player begin to build a complete castle, rules the land. Yeah.
Alright, so the next game on the list is probably one of my least favorites that I've ever played, but I understand its purpose. It's Rory Story Cubes. It is a good storytelling game to help people become more creative. You're rolling dice and you're trying to create stories based on the pictures that you end up rolling on that thing. And if I remember correctly, it's about judgment too. Like some people are saying, okay, that works really well. And stuff like that. For me, it's more of an activity than anything else, but it's neat what it does because it helps people work with their imagination. It helps children work their way through that, and just allows them to, create stories based on what they're seeing. Yep,
this is a great tool for a classroom.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Pounce. Of course you gave me the cat game. Come on now. All right, Roberto Fraga. Hold on, Roberto Fraga.
The coin gave you the cats game.
That's true. While the owner is away, the cats will play. Who will make the most mischief? All right. The animal cards are sorted and placed onto the table. Each player receives 5 cards with animal houses. Before each round, the player secretly chooses a house. The youngest player starts with the stop card. The player places the stop card on one of the animals. Then all players call go, go, go. When the players try to be the quickest to place their hand on the animal needed, the first player to place his card on the animal wins. Or wins the card in the next round. The second player places a stop card.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
On the Dot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen this before.
Of course you have.
Yeah, no, now it's Iota. No, what is it called now? I think it's still called On the Dot. Like they've remade it a number of times.
Card representing a combination of several colored dots placed on the table. Each user has 4 transparent plastic cards. with colored dots in different positions. Has to superimpose them to obtain the same combination on the card on the table. This is done by rotating and flipping the cards and trying them in different orders. One difficulty is that you will have to hide some of the dots on your card and place underneath to attain the right combination. The first player to match the pattern shouts Vitriol, or on the dot, or en el punto, and their copy is correct to win the card. The game also be played solo by seeing how many cards you can recreate in a set amount of time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because like how they overlap each other. Yeah, I've played this before. It's not bad.
It looks pretty neat.
Yeah. Great components. Combo King, I used to own this one too. This is like a multi-level Yahtzee game with gambling. It's pretty funny. Like each of those cards, you're trying to go for a certain set, like combination, like have the highest roll, have this, and they all have different abilities. It's a fun little Vegas themed game. I don't own it anymore, but each of the different challenges adds different replay value into it, and it's Vegas themed and it's nice poker chips. It was pretty cool.
All right, so Ugly Doll card game. Join Ox, Wedgehead, and the rest of the Ugly Dolls in the first ever fast action card game. Turn over cards until you spot 3 matching uglies. So it's another one of those, this is what's happening, a matching game in a sense, pattern recognition.
Cool. Thingamabots. Okay. Alright, gear up for a memory bender in this fast-paced card game of shouting silliness. Turn over a card. Give the robot a name. Melvin, Spaghetti Head, GP450, or whatever you imagine. When it shows up again, be the first to shout its name when you collect the stack of cards. Spot a robot match, shout the Thingamabot, and steal the opponent's stack. Okay, that's kind of fun. That's a silly idea.
All right, we have Feed the Kitty. See, look, I got a cat game.
And it actually has a cat bowl in the game.
Yep. Roll the dice, but don't lose your mice. It's the fast-moving game. Try to keep your mice away from the kitty. Roll an arrow and pass one to the left, rolling a sleeping cat, and you're lucky to squeak by. But roll a ball, and it's dinner time for the kitty. The last player left with mice wins. So, fast-paced dice game where you don't want your rats to get eaten.
Yep. Great components. Luck of the draw. Okay. Think you're the next Picasso? Can't draw a stick figure to save your life? No matter the answer, you will have a blast playing this off-the-wall party game where you don't have to be the best artist to win. Pick a card and scramble and scribble to make a mini masterpiece in 45 seconds. Then vote on whose drawing best fits over one of the creative categories. Will your picture be the squiggliest, the ugliest, the most likely to hang on a refrigerator? Win the most votes, and you got luck of the draw. Okay, so it's like, it's Pictionary, but it's just a descriptor word, not an actual thing. Okay, I can appreciate that.
Zeus on the Loose. Add numbers and use the powers of gods to climb Mount Olympus and capture Zeus.
I played this within the last year.
Catch Zeus if you can. The great Greek god has bolted from Mount Olympus, and it's up to you to nab the dashing deity. Play cards strategically, adding numbers as you climb the mythic mountain. Grab Zeus when the total reaches a multiple of 10. Better yet, summon the strength of Apollo, Poseidon, or the all-powerful Hera to bring Zeus within your grasp. Okay, it seems interesting.
It's actually kind of fun, because like if I play down an 8, obviously you'd want to play a 2.
Yeah.
Because then if you do that, you grab the cards, and you're trying to get the most points by getting multiples of 10. And if you can't do it, you want to make it hard for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Nice.
Cool. Hit or miss. Alright, so this one, I have played this one before. 3 to 8 players party game. Sharpen your pencils and your intuition. In this quick playing think and sync party game. Draw a category card in 45 seconds. List as many related words that come to mind. When the timer runs out, roll the die. If it lands on a hit, pick a word that you think everyone wrote. If it lands on a miss, pick one that only you wrote. So it's kind of like categories, but also doesn't have categories. This they remade into like this little small box thing that they did like a whole series of like smaller like mass market style games. This was one of them, and I played that one. I did enjoy it.
I'm trying to speedrun this, and he's like, I gotta explain all this.
No, that's all I said. Carry on.
Aunt Millie's Millions. Bind a estate worth of millions as your lucky hairs. It's a party game. You're playing roles of colorful characters. You're trying to use speed, strategy, and persuasion to collect the most coveted valuables. Will you get her vintage jukebox or a stuck with the rusty toilet? Claim the same item as another player, and you must give the best sob story to convince the judge you deserve it more.
So it's a role-playing storytelling set collection game. That's silly.
That sounds silly. I'm not interested in it, but it sounds silly.
Yeah. Toss your cookies.
No, thank you.
All right. Hungry for fun? Look no further than this outrageously delicious game of quick cookie collecting. Or try to gather 5 of the same cookie by throwing your dice actions. Pass cookie cards to your neighbors. Or swap
Jeez.
them with an opponent. Or steal the milk card. Watch out for half-eaten cookies. That will spoil your set. If you roll a toss all, then get ready for an all-out cookie flinging frenzy. Be the first to get 5 of a kind to win.
That away. Ooh, 3.9 rating. Oof.
And that art.
Forest Prison Creative, too.
Oof. All right.
Priscilla the Gorilla is on the loose. Which way did she go? Track down the escape ape by following the directions on the cards. Did she go left, right, up, down? Play cards quickly to trace her trail, but be first to capture Priscilla and score big points. The player with the highest score wins, and this chimp chasing... Wait, they just called her Gorilla and chimp chasing. Okay, sure.
Priscilla the Gorilla, yeah. She's trying to... Yeah, I know, they're not the same, but... Yeah, okay. Yep, carry on. Hats off. The Madcap card game. Okay? Put on your game cap for a round of Hot Matching Mania, so it's another match game. Cool.
Nice. Moving on to The Curse of the Ruby Rhino.
That sounds fun.
Behold the Ruby Rhino. The most coveted of ancient treasure stands inches from your grasp, but a curse makes it nearly impossible to capture. Roll the dice and try your best to corner this elusive jewel beast. Watch out for a bevy of fake gold that will get in your way. Hang on to the Ruby Rhino all by itself, and you're the only not only broken the curse, you've won the game.
I used to have this, and that's great components.
Looks pretty good.
I remember it was missing pieces, which is why I got... Or the game was awful, but the components were so good, I kept it for a while. Step to it. From the back of the box. Here's a game that you have walking, jumping, and hopping around all around the house. Okay, carry on.
Basically hopscotch in card game form.
Yeah, looks like...
Gubs, a game of wit and luck.
This one's pretty fun.
Gubs, a game of wit and luck, invites you to partake in the secret struggle of the Gubs. Each player completes to build the largest, strongest colony by the time the 3 dreaded letter cards emerge from the deck and in the game. Their world is a place filled with danger, from giant omen beetles who consume the delicate Gub cities to flash floods to deadly wasps. Your Gubs hardly stand a chance on their own, but arm them with spears, let ride the valiant Toad Riders, build mushroom barricades, and lead your colony through the forest underbrush in victory. With luck, you'll need them both. The Grabs are counting on. This actually sounds pretty cool.
It's pretty decent, actually. I do remember playing it. I did not mind it at all. It has some cool stuff going. This is when they're starting to change from like Children, memory and Uno and starting to add a little bit more oomph to their games and components too with the Rhino one. Hang 4. Fetch a wave. Okay, I like those pieces a lot. That's cool looking. Fetch a wave. Champion Surf Dogs Kelly Slobber, Riptail, and Jeff Spicoli. And it's totally bonedacious card game. Get the most dogs on surfboards by crashing in sand dollars and receiving cards. Cool. Sounds like fun.
Go Nuts. Which yes. I think is going to be re-implemented later. Go Nuts for Donuts.
No, very different game.
Oh, okay.
This is a speed dice rolling game, and it's really silly about collecting nuts.
There you go. Speed dice rolling about collecting nuts.
Yep.
Pretty cool looking game.
It's actually really darn fun. I still have my copy.
Nice.
Yeah. Captain Clueless, Lost in the Caribbean. Okay. Not heard of this one. Set a course for the high seas. Hilarity aboard this party game that puts you behind the rose-colored sunglasses of the Captain Clueless, the world's most oblivious cruise ship captain. Oh my god. While blindfolded, try to navigate a clear route to your chosen Caribbean port without running into land at any time. Okay, that's fun. But you have to be blindfolded, so...
Alright, King Toad. Designer Paul Sharp. Wait, right? Designer... Oh no, Garrett Giordano, Brian Spence, and Michael Steer. Paul Sharp is the artist. Old King Toad is a hungry old soul, and his tongue-twisting card game adds bug to the King's Feast by playing cards in numerical order. If you don't have the next card in sequence, catch one just like King Toad. Say ribbit, and then stick out your tongue from 1 to 4 times the signal of the card you want to play. The first player out of cards gets to be King Toad for a day.
Yep. Cool. Tiki Topple.
This one's actually decent.
Yeah, this one's actually one that you and I used to do. You have a stack of tiki pieces that are these wooden totems on an inlaid board, trying to play cards to maneuver them around, try and get the certain ones up onto the top, specifically your secret one up to the top when it scores. It's pretty cool. Loads of pieces.
They're really good design.
Yep. Yeah, depending on how high up you are, it's the more points. So you're trying to get your pieces up without getting too many people off. And then, as they go away, they shrink down.
All right, next game here is Scallywags. Avast, belay your bickering, give us our treasures. It is to start the game. A selection of coins are dumped into the center of the table to form the loot pile. These coins are marked on only one side and left face up or face down as they fall. On a player's turn, he either can take a face-up coin from the pile and add it to his stash, or play one card from 3 in their hand to take face-up coins, steal from others, give coins to opponents, and more. Because one player has 10 coins, he can't receive any more, which means you want to stuff them with all the pennies while making play for gold yourself. Actually, this one sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. Who's the designer?
Chevet Dodd.
Okay. Not heard. Interesting.
It's also known as Doubloons.
I like pirate games. Those are pretty fun. Bucci. I own this one. It's a really weird one. You have a 12-sided like foam squishy die. You have a bunch of rings. You're trying to roll it and complete different challenges. You have like balls, and you also have like a little a thing like in a wrist strap like dial that keeps track of your points, but also hinders you in different ways. It's kind of like ring toss in a way, but you're trying to land the Bucci ball into the ring. It's pretty fun. I need to play this again sometime. It's a great like lawn or inside the game physical action game.
Over under the game of guesstimates. I have played this one if I remember correctly.
And it's Knizia.
How many bricks are in the Empire State Building? How far away is Pluto? Make your best guess. Over under the party game. Estimated far facts. You got a stack of question cards. Each player cards have 3 questions in the game, having 200 cards. And so basically you're just trying to guess whatever the question is, if it's higher or lower.
Yeah, so like somebody will give an answer and everyone else guesses whether that's too high or too low. So it's if you like wits and wagers, it actually does work pretty well. All right, Too Many Monkeys. This is a nice simple kids game. Primo the monkey has fallen asleep until his friends swung by for a surprise pajama party. Help Primo chase away the primate pranksters by flipping and swapping cards in numerical order. Watch out for elephants' giraffes who want to crash the fun. If you're lucky, draw a wild monkey, clear the room instead. The first player to stop the monkey mayhem and get Primo back to bed wins. Open drafting. Okay.
Say cheese. You're in a photo booth, like to act wild, crazy under the pressure of time. We try to capture a little bit of the frantic feeling in the super fast dice game. Roll dice, look for matches, not only sharpen your reflexes, but also strengthen the fine motor skills and visual acuity. Race to the photo finish in the dice game that plays out in a flash. Quickly roll your dice to match the characters in the photo booth. When you match a pair, shout cheese and collect the cards. When all the cards in your picture, perfect.
Cool. Walter Wick, Can You See What I See? Okay.
Spy game?
Sure. Huh? Yeah, it looks like. Can you see a seashell? How about a kangaroo? Find both of these in a visual game, hide and seek. Yeah. I spy.
This big. What does that tagline say? A very fishy card game. Cast a lure card from your tackle box, then pick up from your opponent's cards and hope of landing the big one. You'll be able to see through their bluffs, or will you get stuck with a soggy old boot? So kind of go fish, but not really.
Right. Okay. Pool Sharks. Oh, that looks great. It's a flicking game. And you're doing it to the mouth of sharks. Great.
It's basically pool.
Yeah. Yeah. 8 slippery balls. Sink it too soon, you get sunk. Shoot the most balls in the fish pockets, you rule the pool. It's fish pool. Yeah. That's great. I love it.
Catch the mice.
Is it also a Knizia? Interesting.
Players are hungry cats trying to catch colored mice, but you probably already figured that out from the title. You roll 2 dice, then catches a mouse color of that color showing on the dice, assuming the player hasn't already collected this color this turn. If you roll the same color on both dice, you steal a mouse from your opponent. You may keep rolling, but if you catch a mouse after a die roll, you lose everything. The game ends when there are no mice left, and the points are scored from captured mice.
Okay. So either take or save, pretty much. Okay.
And it looks like it's re-implemented by like Polar Derby or something.
Yeah. Same game, different theme. Funny business. Okay. Imagine if a bakery merged with a barbershop. What would you call your new business? Breadheads? Cookie cutters? How about shaven cream? Think up these and other creative answers to the Harris Party game. It gets you naming. It gets you naming is the name of the game. Yeah. Well, no.
It's
not quite. It's not association. You have to come up with something that's in between.
Well, it's one of those voting.
Yeah, everybody votes for the best, right? Yeah. Or like one player chooses it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ringo Flamingo. Launch rings in real time to encircling flamingos, steering clear of nasty gators. So basically, ring toss without hitting a gator.
Yep. Cool. Doesn't have to be difficult. Flip Out. This looks interesting. Flip Out, originally published as Patchwork. Wait a minute. Players trade colorful two-sided cards between wood racks to create sets and steal them from each other. Each player starts the game by drawing cards and from the deck and filling their racks, and are hidden, or with the hidden side of a card being seen by its owner. Okay, so that's interesting. So you're swapping the cards around, trying to get them in sets and groups together.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Who would win the Ultimate Celebrity Showdown?
Yep.
Players to each draw one character card, then turn over the event. Each player then has 20 seconds to argue why his character would win. Why would Albert Einstein beat Darth Vader's? The other players serve as jury and vote on which player has the better argument. That player receives the event card. The first player to win 5 event cards wins.
Straightforward.
Yeah, super fight.
Yep, yeah. That's exactly it. Forbidden
Here we go.
Island. Here we go. Cooperative game from Matt Lee Koch. This has been described as Pandemic Light. You are trying to capture the 4 artifacts off of there by completing sets, getting to the depicted spots before and get off of the island before the island sinks out from under you. Brilliantly simple game. This is the first one I would 100% recommend any new players try.
Oh yeah. Next up is Sounds Like a Plan. This one is a party game. The best plan for climbing Mount Everest. How about the worst plan for making $1 million? Find out this party game that's all about giving outrageous advice. Select a card containing a piece of advice that best fits the judge's chosen activity. Score points. So this is an apples to apples style.
Yep, absolutely. Sumo Ham Slam. I'm just looking at the pieces here. Step in the fierce and fury world of full combat sumo hamster wrestling. Use magnetic force. Maneuver magnetic force. Use your sumo hamster to try and knock your opponent out of the ring. It's a contest of bulk as much as brawn, so feed your hamster every chance you get. The most rounds claims the title of Sumo Ham Slam Grand Champ. Wait, so are you adding magnets to your piece? How does... What? You're putting discs in their mouth, right? Oh God. And you're moving it around with What? What is this?
Now I know you're going to be looking for this one.
That sounds so intriguing.
Order up, or orders up. Rush hour at a ring-a-ding diner. You must hurry to serve a table full of hungry customers. Roll a die to add dishes to your tray. Roll a free meal or snag the special of the day to help fill your order. If you roll a bell, it's a mad dash to grab your grub before another player beats you to the lunch. Be the first to complete all your orders and ding, you're the winner. So set collection with a little bit of pit involved.
Yep. Just because there's a bell, right?
Yeah.
Very appropriate for an orders game.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Take the Cake, another children's game. Ooh, nice pieces. A batch of yummy cupcakes is fresh out of the oven. It's time to decorate. Shake the sprinkle shaker and see what colorful shapes pour out. If you match a cupcake, you add them to your card. Okay. Simple enough. Yeah.
Hide and Eek. Are running amok, but one tiny mouse has got their number. Roll the dice and move the mouse around the board, searching high and low for elements that are either higher or lower than the number on your card. If you spot a mouse hiding on a card, shout Eek and grab the mouse figurine before it scampers away. You need to have a memory like an elephant and be quick as a mouse to win.
Cool. Good description. Dweebies. Weird name. Meet the Dweebies, uniquely colorful characters out to capture your heart, but you must capture them first. Round out Dweebies by matching cards by both ends in row. Oh, this is similar to Butts on Things, is what it seems like. Dweebies can be before they disappear. I wonder if it was remade into Butts on Things.
It doesn't say on there, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Pay attention to Tim Rodiger.
Yeah, I'd believe it if it was the same thing.
Take It or Leave It. A game that titles asking you to be mocked by those who don't like the design, so here's hoping it goes over well with the audience.
That's very meta.
What is the game, you ask? Each player has a hand of 4 task cards showing dice combinations and other task cards that player is trying to achieve during the game round, such as sum of pips less than 13 or 2 white dice and 1 black die. Each card has a point value on it. Are being worth 1 point. Someone rolls a bunch of white, black, and red dice, and the players take turns choosing a die from the pool. Each player also holds 1 action card that lets them manipulate the dice to better achieve their task. On a turn, a player either takes a dice or passes from the round. Once everyone has passed, players assign their dice to their task cards. with red dice count as either black or white. Complete your task and you'll cheer and score points and have dice on use, and you'll wish that you had never been born. Or just lose a couple of points. Depends on how much of a drama queen you are. After each round, players refill the hand of cards in appropriate proportions. After each player has started a round 1 to 3 times, depending on the number of players, the game ends when the players tally their points.
Cool.
This one sounds interesting, yeah.
Yeah, this is an intriguing one for sure. I like that dice tray. That looks really cool. A couple different versions, too.
All right.
Knock your blocks off. Yes, this is Yes, I'm familiar with this one. Each round, knock your blocks off takes place 2 phases. They build up a structure. The second, with players trying to knock them down or knock the crowns off of there. So yeah, it's a dexterity game, but you have to build up your dice in a way that the patterns work correctly.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Mermaid Beach. Oh, man, that art. Card game created by an 8-year-old. Play somewhat like take that version of Go Fish. Each player starts the game with a hand of beach cards. These cards include 4 copies each of items like beach balls, sunglasses, umbrellas, and so on. A deck of shell cards with cards worth 1 to 4 points, and starfish action cards are shuffled and placed on the table. On a turn, the player can discard a mermaid, merman, or matching pair of items to take the top shell card. Discard a mean mermaid to steal another player's shell card, or ask another player for an item, a la Go Fish, drawing a card if you come up empty and scoring it if you hit. Play a sneaker wave to remove one opponent's shell card from play, or play a seaweed to force someone to draw a beach card. So yeah, it's literally take that, Go Fish.
Yep, cool. Alright, Splish Splash. I really like the pieces looking in there. Players get to recreate that feeling, becomes tossing stones into a pond and seeing the water splash everywhere, but now you need to splash out just the right things in order to win. Oh, that sounds fun.
Alright, moving on to City Square Off. Plan to win. Challenges 2 players to each build a well-designed city that doesn't spill over the boundary lines that govern play. Each player starts with a 9 by 9 playing area that has different cityscape starter tiles in the middle, each showing a Tetris-style arrangement of squares that match one of the cities. So, yeah, looks not too bad. Very abstracted. You're just trying to build out your city. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you like patchwork, you'll probably like that. Great components.
Yeah, really nice components.
Cool. Joe Name It. This is another one of the ones that they shrunk down into a small party game that you can buy at a lot of places. Can you name the movie with 2 sequels? How about a music group with 3 members? Those are the type of challenges you'll need to face in Joe Name It. Flip over category, try and name it. Very specific, weird questions that normally have a single number. So yeah, that's the type of game.
Cool. Zip Zap. This is a children's game. Gonna fly a lightning fast card game. You want to quickly rid of cards by playing numbers in order. So another one of these order games. Lay down and run and consider yourself in the zone. Don't get caught. Or else zap. Another player will steal the lead. Be the first one out of cards and 0 to win. There you go.
Fits it. It's a wordplay. Wow, this is another one of those like small ones as well. What comes in the box? Inside is a blender is bound to make you laugh. Fits It is a party game where fun is all in the description. Name an object that fits the attributes on your card, then play them to the grid. The more cards you play, the faster you score. Use your creativity. You're fit to win. Okay. Kind of interesting.
The Big Fat Tomato Game. Sink your teeth in this juicy game of fierce tomato farming. You try to harvest the most tomatoes while defending your patch of garden from a variety of intruders like weeds, varmints, and even the dastardly tomato zombies. Oh, and did we mention flying hippos? Haul the most tomatoes to market by the end of the game, and you're a slice above the competition.
Love the theming. So sure. Weird.
Yeah.
Iota. Okay, I can already tell you this is Quirkle, but there's 3 attributes per card instead of per tile where there's only 2. Yeah.
All right, here's a game that I really do enjoy. We mentioned it earlier.
Yep.
Quicks. This is a fast-playing dice game where everyone participates no matter whose turn it is. Each player has a score sheet with the numbers 2 through 12 in rows of red and yellows. And what you're doing is you're rolling the dice and you're trying to mark up. There's 2 rows that go in ascending order and 2 rows that go into descending order. Yep. And you're just trying to be the most points by marking off the first one to end a row or something like that.
Yep.
Fantastic little roll and write. Probably one of the first roll and writes I've been introduced to. I still play it. I have a version for a copy of myself. And like I said, I still have my printed sheets. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's super fun. All right, here we go. Big banger here. Sushi Go. Phil Walker Harding. Pick and pass drafting. Trying to score different kinds of sushi. 4 points. Like tempura, you need 2. Sashimi, you need 3. And don't forget to save the pudding till the end of the game. That is the old school version, isn't it? The Adventureland version.
The art style hasn't really changed much.
It just hit its 10th anniversary and comes in a really beautiful bento box and great components.
Oh, yeah. And I mentioned it earlier. This is one of my favorite games, Forbidden Desert.
Yep.
In fact, this is my favorite Forbidden game. So you escape the island on your ship and you try to fly away and your ship breaks down in the desert. And this one, a lot of the same lines. Instead of trying to find the treasures and get off the thing, you find the different parts for the ship to try to escape before the sandstorms overtake on you. You're working as a team. You're trying to, again, find the parts, make sure you don't die of thirst, or things get buried by the dirt piles right here. So it is a fantastic game, and all you're trying to find is the 4 engine parts.
They sleeved their tiles. That's weird. These are still 2 of the heavier games that they've produced since then. Yeah. They get a little bit heavier, but now...
The next 2 are a lot heavier than this one. I haven't played Jungle yet, but I know Forbidden Sky.
Yeah, Forbidden Sky. Mm-hmm. All right, Skunk Bingo. I can't imagine this is anything more than bingo. Game spin the spinner and place the creature on the log. If any pop out the other side, add them to your board. Okay.
Yep. Chef Pop de Pop, a corny kind of counting game. So there you go. It's a counting game for children. Butter Up, Chef Pop de Pop, a fresh pack game that bursting with fun. Shake the shaker, count up the popcorn on the dice, collect your cards. If the one matches any of the flavor, watch out for burnt kernels. Yeah, it's basically just a children's counting game.
Not the only popcorn-themed dice game we've seen.
Nope.
Probably not the last. Monster Cafe. Who are the designers on this? Michael Steer, Roland Test, Garrett Donner. That sounds familiar. Okay. Make a reservation for you at the Monster Cafe. Play cards to seat hungry monsters around tables filled with such revolting refreshments as roasted roadkill, boiled brains, and stinky sock stew. This would be great for Halloween. But be careful, as these monsters are extremely picky eaters. Feed them what they fancy, or else they'll take a bite out of your score. Or whatever you do, avoid the lemon sorbet. I had lemon sorbet today.
I don't remember the last time I had lemon sorbet.
Yeah.
All right, next game on the list here is Cube Quest.
This one looks fun.
Knock your opponent's king out of his castle, and it's quick, fun dice flicking game. It's a dexterity, lightweight, hollow cubit dice are flicked across rubber mats. Cubes that leave the mats are defeated. Plays alternate until someone wins by defeating the enemy kings. So yeah, you're basically just flicking your cubes and trying to knock your opponent off the board. Yeah,
this one looks really fun. Genuinely. I would totally like to play it. Cube Quest.
This is you.
Terzetto.
Which was re-implements Triple Match.
Triple Match. Okay, cool. It's an abstract strategy game. Outwit your opponent in Terzetto, a clever game of marble maneuvers. Take turns placing sets of 3 marbles onto your board. According to the pattern shaker, the game starts off easy, but you'll need to keep a keen eye and a bit of luck to make everything fit. Fill your board before your opponent, and you clearly know how to mine your marbles.
Man, we still got a lot.
We're almost done.
No, we are not. That's it. Just the right party game. Find it in a toolbox. If you said hammer, then you hit the nail on the head. That's it. A fast-playing word-for-word party game. Draw a topic card, then race to shout out the answers until someone says the exact word written. Get the most right, and that's it. You win.
Yep. Yeah, so it's like a quick speed category style game. Trap the Triceratops. Oh, what is this called? Sorry. Super Tooth. Trap the Triceratops. Apprehend the Apatosaurus. Race to collect sets of matching dinosaurs. Furiously fun card game. Cool. Bigger the set, bigger the points.
Quicks, a fast family card game. So this is Quicks, the card game. Not really familiar with this one. Trying to cross off a number of cards. So do you still have like a writing pad?
No, you're just doing sets. You can only place them in order, like by their style, okay, from what I understand.
Cool.
All right, Pyraminx. This one has a bunch of cubes that have symbols on it. It's an abstract strategy game where you're building up a pyramid. It's actually a really kind of a neat one. You're removing one at a time from the stack, and depending... It has to have at least 2 sides showing. Depending on that might actually cause certain things to go. You're trying to get the most points at the end of it.
Okay. Dodge dice. Avoid the points. In this fast-moving dice game, dodge dice. There's one simple goal. Dodge the penalty points. Roll the dice and try not to have them match the color of the penalty die using your skip chips to pass a turn. But then spin them wisely or else you might get hit with pig points. In the game with the lowest score and escape the win. So that actually sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, it does. All right, this one you brought up earlier. Kids deduction game, Outfox. Really simple. On each of your turns, you're going to choose to either move or look. And you roll dice trying to get them all to be one side. Which is pretty awesome. And if you are successful, you get to look at that, and you're trying to work cooperatively to determine which character was set aside in a beautiful little contraption before the fox reaches the end of the track.
Yep.
Really great kids game.
Stowaway 52.
I had a copy of this at Savers yesterday.
You've sneaked aboard an alien ship that's about to attack Earth, and it's up to you to stop it. Set course for sabotage with a unique card venture, an interactive story that puts you at the controls. Do you reprogram the flight computer, or do you destroy the interim? Stowaway is a choose your path book. In a deck of cards, you start your adventure on any card, and on each card, the choices you make tells you which card to go to next. So it's a choose your own adventure game, but in card play. Sounds pretty neat.
To win, you have to get through all 52 cards and find the path. But if you reach a dead end, then that's where it stops. And however many cards, the fewer cards, the better you are.
Nice.
Yeah, flashlights and fireflies. I've been curious about this one. I've never played it though. Get ready for a backyard dash through the dark in this game of firefly-powered flashlight freeze tag. First, catch the fireflies to power up your flashlight, then shine on other players before they sneak back to home base. Along with watch out for bats, raccoons, and other nighttime critters that may trip up your tracks. Super cute little kids game.
All right, Dragonwood, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yep.
This one's real simple. You're playing sets of cards to do different types of attacks against the monsters here. So here we go. And these ones will be your help for dice. This is weather. But you're basically, these are going to be your rewards. And so here it's telling you for the spiders, you need 3 of a strike, 3 of a stomp, 4 of a scream. The way you do that is you either play one type of card. So I can play sets of ones, and that tells you how many dice I'm going to be able to roll. Or I can play a straight set. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That allows you to do a second type of attack. I think it's this one. And then the other one is you can play one suit of cards, so either the like 3 different of these wizards, that will allow, or this color that will allow you to do one of these attacks. Then you got to roll the dice. You have to defeat their certain numbers. So if I'm doing this one, I got to beat a 3. I got to beat a 3, or I got to beat a 4 if I'm doing this one. And the way that works is for every card you play, it's how many dice you roll, and they go through 1 through 4. Is there a blank? I can't remember.
Nope.
No,
1,
so
2,
it's
2, 3, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's no 6s. It's not a D6 or anything like that, and you're basically just trying to get the most points. The way the game ends, there's 2 dragon cards. If you beat if both dragons get beat, you end it, or you roll through the deck twice.
Yep.
Very simple game. Very fantastic. It's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, brilliant game. Bring your own book. I don't know much about this one, but I do know that it's a book-themed game. Your old book is now your new favorite game. Bring your own book. Players take turns drawing prompts from the deck, and then race to find the best phrase in their own book that satisfies the prompt. Pretty awesome. It's using the inside of the book and the actual passages to do it. Of course, if you know the book, you probably have a better chance.
All right. Another one of your favorite games here from the Gamewright. Rolling America. This is an interesting roll and write because you're trying to build out the map based on the dice rolls, but you got to be careful because the numbers have to be within certain orders, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they can only be the same number or one higher or lower.
Lower, yeah. So if I go 1 here, this has to be either a 1 or a 2 in this spot.
Yes.
And same with this one. This one has to be a 1 or a 2 going down here, and you're trying to fill in be the first one to fill up this section because you'll get something special. Yeah, it's a really neat game. I do enjoy it a lot.
Yep. All right, Quingo. This is a dice rolling game. It's a roll and write. Heinz Meister made this. It's a really strange one that I've heard mixed reviews about. Top 12 players race to complete the 12 boxes on any one of their 5 columns on their player sheet. During player calls out a number from 1 to 100, then rolls the dice symbol to determine which column that number must be placed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Guju. Okay, sure.
Guju.
Is a fast, easy, fun party game with unique roles. Start with a number of fruit cards face up on the table, then divide the other cards equally among the players. On a turn, a player names one of the 4 types of fruits in the game, then flips over a card from their deck onto a face-up card of this type. If they reveal the same type of fruit that they named, everyone races to cover all these fruits cards from their personal deck, whoever rids their hand cards first.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speed little silliness.
Yeah.
Imagine. I can already tell you how this game works. You have a bunch of abstract pictures on clear transparency cards, trying to overlap them to describe certain things. Kind of like Pictionary, but you have all these weird, clear cards on them. It's really neat how it works. I used to have this one. It was pretty interesting.
And now I know this next game because you guys used to do this a lot. You and our mutual friend Jim. This is Sneaky Cards.
Yes, we did.
There's different things where you're doing with this one because it tells you to sneak a card into someone else's game or leave a card for people to track it in conventions and stuff like that. So the whole point of this game is if you have the deck, you're trying to get rid of the deck or meet as much rules out of that deck. And it got integrated with the sneaky cards too, which just gives you more stuff to do.
Yep, and the cards can actually be tracked like over the official website, which is pretty neat. I don't know if it still does it, but
yeah,
an awesome idea.
It was neat what it did.
Yeah, cool. Sushi Go Party. This is the up to 8 player party version of that. Has like 25 different cards. We talked about Sushi Go already.
Pick and pass menu, so you could build the menu how you want to play it. So if you don't want to deal with like the desserts, you can do something else. So I like that part of it,
absolutely,
where it just gives you more variation.
Absolutely.
Wrangling rabbits. I heard of Hasty Hoppers is headed for the hills. It's your job to halt them. Work together as a team and wrangling rabbits to corral the cottontails by flicking, lifting, and rolling the dice. But hop to it. There's a trouble afoot. If they escape before you can mend the fences, wrangle the rabbits, and you're a 24-carat champion. So it's a cooperative, dice-rolling, dexterity almost style game.
Huh.
It's kind of neat.
I like that idea. That sounds fun. Jump Ship. Another card ventures. Again, this is the 52 card adventure, like Stowaway 52. Same thing. You have a choose your own adventure. You're trying to get through the whole deck.
Okay. Baba Yaga, an enchanting card game. You spell potions and a bit of luck to capture the legendary sorceress, summon an enchanted owl or a plucky pelican to help you out, but only if you concoct the proper potion first. Becomes the card game, could end at any moment. Get the lowest and conjure up the win. So you golf rules.
Yep, cool.
That looks neat.
Yeah. Skiwampus.
Miles Christensen.
All right, this is looks like a triomino kind of game. Outmaneuver your opponents in this full tilt action brain builder, ranger tiles, and Skiwampus, so that the corners connect to form an array of patterns, whether most colors, all numbers, 3 of a kind, or more. Okay, so it's like triomino, but has different sets.
Sure. Cool. Squirmish, the card game. Ridiculous rumble where creatures clash and only the strongest survive. Draft an odd squad of warriors with the name like Kitty Clops, Pumpaduck, and Kilgore the Conqueror. Position them into the melee and roll to attack. Each of the 70 scrappers has its own preposterous power. You need strategy and a bit of luck to survive. Knock out the competition and become the beastie boss.
This is probably one of their least likely to be their style of game. It was really kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yep. All right. Go Nuts for Donuts. Now, this was the one that you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah.
If you like Sushi Go, this is the next level up, where basically donuts are brought out or different snacks. Everyone reveals a card of which area they're going to go for. You take the card if you're the only one there. If you match with somebody else, neither you nor your opponents get it.
All right. We talked about this one, too. We play this one a lot. This is Trash Pandas. It's a little push your luck game where you're trying to roll dice and collect these tokens here. And this gives you different powers, but if you roll the token after it's already been claimed, you lose your turn. And so basically what you're trying to do is either trash cards out of your hand, or to go through the trash pile, recycle cards, stash them, or you can steal them from another opponent.
Yeah, this is where the games are starting to ramp up as far as how awesome they are. Next one, Who's It? This game is originally released as Profiler, the game of cooperative deduction. That's right, I remember. I used to own this one too.
Okay.
For example, who would care more about their looks after a parachute jump? Dracula or Lady Gaga? Discuss and decide. So it's a cooperative party trying to deduce which one would make it to the end based on the weird categories, and you have to kind of argue that, but you want to also guess as groups of teams. It's kind of cool.
Cha-cha-chihuahua, the game of dancing doggies, huh?
You selling this one too? Not great. Great components. Great components.
Draw cards to get these puppy burritos to join your doggy dance-a-thon. It's almost like that dancing cow game.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you place your dogs over 2 squares. You're trying to slowly force your opponents to not be able to play, kind of thing. But great components. Not a great game. Vanished. Another card ventures thing. Works the same way as the others.
Think in Sync. The Great Minds Think Alike game. A party game of quick connections, pick a partner, and then at the same time shout out instead of choosing a category. Can you both name a movie princess, an ice cream flavor? How about something orange? Your answer may be great, but the score only if they're identical, so think quickly. It's almost kind of like a precursor to Medium.
Yep. Although I think Medium came out before it.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Win it. All right, so this one is great. It's like a quick, like, find the match. Like, you have a bunch of piles in front of you of tiles that have purposefully very similar style.
I don't like it just because it hurts my eyes. It looks like your obnoxious shirts.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely on purpose. They're supposed to like.
I know it's on purpose.
Yeah,
but...
they're hyper busy on purpose. I have the board game version of this that has like the Ticket to Ride trains or like the Catan tiles or all sorts of different things. And half the fun of that version is just naming what board games they're referencing. It's actually a really fun like speed matching game. Because you might flip over a tile and like it might match the top tile of somebody's stack and you can actually claim it both, which might cascade into other matches. It's really cool.
Color Brain. This is not a good at quizzes. Great, because this game will give you all the answers before you start. All you have to do is work out which of the 11 color cards in your hand correctly answers one of the Color Brain's crafty questions. Get right and you could be in luck. Now you need other teams to get it wrong to walk off with the points while they turn green with envy.
They also made a Disney version of this, so that's pretty common in a lot of mass market stores. Like, what color is Mickey Mouse's pants, right? And you all have to guess the right color.
Cool.
Forbidden Sky, the third in the quadrilogy of games now. This one, you are building the Sky Tower, and you have to get all the pieces to build up a certain number of lightning rods and platforms to link them up with wires and launch the thing. This is their first one with an electronic piece, and it works pretty well.
Which is neat. This is also where we thought they were getting away from the tins, because they technically had to put this in here because of the electronic pieces. This is my least favorite of the Forbiddens that I've played. Now, I haven't done Jungle yet, so...
Right.
But I was not a fan of this one.
I did like the fact that this was in a box. I've put all of the other three into this box.
I don't blame you on
that. It's
very
dense.
All right, so next up is Zoinks, an all-or-nothing dice game. A dicey decision. All players secretly predict how many dots they think you will roll. Then you shake the dice and keep rolling as long as you meet your target. Push your luck too far, though, and Zoinks, you lose everything. At the points go to players who bet against you. I actually like this one. This one sounds pretty cool.
I think I used to have this one, but I don't remember. Chill Out. I've definitely owned this one because it had really cool ice cube pieces. Bevy of fresh squeezed drinks waits to be served. All they need is ice. Roll the color die. Choose a matching tray. Scoop up the ice cubes. Then drop them out one at a time around your board. Hoping to land some in your cup. Snag a blueberry for extra points. Watch out for slippery hands to snag your ice cubes.
Long Cow. Raise the longest cow, but watch out for others would stop you. Momentous card game of competitive cattle construction. Builds cows by collecting heads, tails, and middles from the deck. The longer the cow, the more points you score.
We're good.
Some of the titles you guys say make me think you're literally just saying it to each other. Some of these are...
Yeah.
This one sounds okay. Honestly, it's not something I'm interested in playing, but...
Yeah. It looked okay. It used to be in like a milk container.
Yeah, I remember when it came in.
Say It is another one of those mini party games where crazy combinations. You find one that sticks between the two. And yeah, draw prompt cards complete to shout the most entertaining response. What's something sticky that you find in the couch cushions or something shocking that you know too much about? Don't delay it, just say it. Yep.
Cahoots.
I like this one a lot.
Go ahead, talk about it because I don't know anything about
Cooperative Uno. There's a bunch of tasks that you have to do on this. Like, for example, the one up there, some of the cards of purple is 3. You have to play either on one of the 4 piles, either color or number, trying to complete those. When you complete an objective, you discard the card, get through that stack to win. They just repackaged it now in a new one, and it's actually really, really cool. This is the reason I don't own Hocus Pocus anymore, because I like this better.
I like Hocus Pocus, so...
You've never played this, too. I'm not saying it'll be better for you. The theming is great on Hocus Pocus.
Between my wife and my friends, the Hocus Pocus is not leaving this house.
No, and I love the movie, too. I'm just saying, like, this is the reason this is when I got Hocus Pocus after this. I'm like, it's Cahoots, but not as good. I like this one a little bit better.
Metro X, the
Really
rail
cool.
and write game.
Yep.
It's another roll and write. This one you're trying to connect subways, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I played this once.
Flip and write. Yeah.
Yeah, flip and write. Sorry, same difference in a sense.
Yeah.
It's fine. In all honesty, it does what it needs to do. I'd rather go back to Quicks. In all honesty.
Yep. What does this really interesting is that a bunch of the paths overlap. So when you put X's and paths like on a certain color, if you add it to a different one, the farther you go, even better. And the only way you can go farther is by like filling in the stations beforehand and actually continuing from that path. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fine. We got to speed run this.
We're almost done.
No, we are not. Look at this. Look at that.
We're good. All right, Splurt. This is another quick little party game. Name a combination. It has like a letter and a category. First one to say it brings it out, or like ending in the letter F, whatever. And so you have to try and figure that out. Speed game. There's a lot of games that do this.
This game goes to 11. This game goes to 11, named after a joke in the film Spinal Tap, which, yeah, I remember that. Players play number cards from their hands into the center pile, seeking to make piles sum to 11. If you're able to get exactly 11, you can pass the stack off to another player. However, they are forced to play a card that brings that total over 11. You have to take the entire pile themselves.
Yep.
Players race to be the first one without cards.
Actually, it works really well. It has a guitar pick.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. All right, Punto, which stands for dots, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Point. Okay, points. Trying to create a line of 4 or 5 cards. This is very similar to Iota, and it actually came in that same style. Each deck includes 18 cards each. You're trying 1 through 9, kind of like dominoes in a way. Shuffle it out, place face up, trying to make a 6x6 grid. Yep. Pretty cool. It's an abstract strategy game. It's all right.
Hedgehog Roll. Roll your ball to pick up forest fruits, powering your hedgehog to win the race. Under the thick canopy trees, the hedgehog is hurrying back to its cozy home. Uh-oh, here comes the fox. Looking for the next meal, the road home will be a real adventure. This is the one where you're rolling the fuzzy hedgehogs, yeah?
Yeah, you roll the tennis ball across Velcro pieces.
You're collecting apples, leaves, mushrooms that allow you to move further along the path. So yeah, it's a competitive game where you're trying to get as much of the stuff without the fox getting you.
Yeah, it's super good. Super good. And you can play competitively as a race, but I like it cooperative better. Yokai. This is a game in a little tin. Basically, you're trying to get the 4 different colors. Most of them are in
tin, so...
Right. Great art, by the way. Christine Alcoff, very good artist. I'm slightly biased on that, too. Japanese spirits, you're trying to get them grouped together, and part of it's memory, like you're able to look at certain cards, and then you're able to maneuver them around, trying to get the right ones next to each other. It works pretty well.
All right, next up here is Sushi Roll, another Phil Walker Harding game here. Of course, we talked about Sushi Go. We talked about Sushi Go Party. Mm-hmm. This is a dice mechanism game based in the Sushi Roll category. What's neat about this one, it's like the rotating conveyor belts of sushi. So the dice are rolled, so you pick which one you want, and it has to move to the next player, and they get to pick off of that. It's really neat. Honestly, I'd rather play Sushi Go or Sushi Go Party, but it's neat what it does. I still have it in my collection. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I like, and you have like the different things you're trying to fill. So this is where it comes, and then you pull it down onto your plate here, and you're just trying to get your points based off what it says on there.
Yep, it's fun. Rat-a-tat Roll, the roll version of Rat-a-tat Cats. Same thing, trying to get. It's a new spin on it, trying to avoid cats, collect low cards, avoiding high cards, which are the rats. Same idea. It's a roll and move actually.
Bloom, the Wildflower Dice Game. This one I haven't seen. It's one of those, like, I've already got Quicks. I don't really need to play any of these other ones. Flowers are power in a freshly picked dice game. Bloom, roll the dice, choose a color, then circle the number of matching flowers. Each roll-off offers a bouquet of possibilities. Snag certain colors or attempt to mix a dozen instead. Then you pass the dice for your opponents to score. With little luck and a lot of pluck, you'll be the best blooming best, or whatever.
I've been nervous to play this because it doesn't look colorblind friendly.
It does not.
All right, hello, my name is Party Game. It's my name is Party Game. I don't think I need to say more about that. That's really what it is.
Yep. Dragon Realm, which is the next step of Dragonwood. I used to own this. I don't own it anymore just because I play it. It's a worker placement-esque version of Dragon Realm. You still got a little bit of push your luck in there. You're trying to claim so much of the locations. I can't remember what is.
Yeah, like if you have a majority of goblins in each location, which you have to complete by doing certain sets, or not goblins, but your pieces,
yeah.
then whoever gets most gets the points and plus some bonuses.
Yeah, and so depending on the player count, it determines how many locations are captured to trigger the end game. Mm-hmm. And so basically, instead of capturing the monster cards, you're trying to capture locations in this one because the worker placement. It's good. It's not as simple as Dragon.
Yeah, Blood. It's actually quite a step up in complexity. Chicken. Egg-centric memory game. I haven't played this one, but I do believe you have to put together certain pieces and remember what it is. Outburst laughter is guaranteed. Fast, original, clever card game. Released as Pule Pule, and the game that will make you love or hate omelets. Which is pretty great. It's a real-time memory party game.
Dungeon drop. Go ahead.
I like this one. Okay, so you're dropping cubes into this, making a dungeon on your turn. You're taking 3 different pillars, and you take all the cubes inside of it, whether it's good ones or bad ones, trying to collect the most treasure while defeating a certain number of goblins. You have special abilities that you can combine in different ways, and all by dropping cubes. It was originally in like a components-only contest, and it's freaking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you not played this one?
Nope.
Okay, I'll have to
Abandon All Artichokes. The deck building game where you're not really deck building. You're trying to shed artichokes out of your hand.
Yep.
Because when you draw up at the end of your turn and you don't have any artichokes in your hand, you win the game. And so what you're doing on your turn, you're trying to play cards out of your hand, all of the deck building kind of thing, but you're also drawing from the garden a new card which has special abilities. And the whole point is you're trying to grow your hand. This way you have the more likely not to draw up artichokes. And my favorite thing of this game, we've talked about it, I believe, in our most recent top 8 debate, is that whole memorable moments aspect where you draw up and then you're just like, go ahead. And you just hear that sigh and everybody's like, yes, I got a chance.
Yep.
And it's like, I thought I got rid of these artichokes. Where did you come from kind of thing. Right. So it's really neat. It's probably one of my most played games of all time. Yep. My friend Maria, this is her favorite game.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, Hilo Flip. This game is a really simple game. You have a number of cards that you're trying to play in order. And if you're trying to get rid of your cards first, and so like I might play like a 15 and we're going up. You could play a 50, I could play like a 70, whatever. Until eventually you get to the point where you can't play, then you're hoping to flip this coin that either says higher or lower. And if you're able to flip it and have it go in the opposite direction, you can start playing in the opposite direction from the previously played card.
Cool.
It's pretty silly. And it works pretty well.
I'm going to let you have this one because you're all about this one.
I do know this one quite a bit. Marshmallow Test. So this is a trick-taking game. What makes it interesting is once you've hit 3 tricks, then you are out of the round. And you score points equal to the number of tricks that have already been scored from all players. So the longer you last, the more points you potentially worth, unless you're the last person in which case I think you only score like your number of tricks. So you want to score the most points, you want to be the second longest going person, and even if you can take a trick, you might purposefully throw it just so that way other people will score points even more. It's a really intriguing take on it, and the marshmallow bits are little squishy foam pieces.
I hate marshmallows.
Yeah, well.
Hit list, huh?
You might select the game though.
Put this party game at the top of your list, flip the timer, draw a card, erase the shout-out answers that fit the category. How quickly your team can name ice cream brands, vampires, cartoon cats, answers. So it's a little party game where you're just shouting at each other. Another
porta-party game is what they called them.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Shifting Stones. Yes, one of my favorites. Oh my god, I love this game. So this game, all you're doing on your turn is you're playing up to 4 cards from your hand, or maybe 6 if you skip that turn. Stop jumping forward. We're almost done. Alright, so you're shifting stones around, trying to complete certain patterns of them next to each other in certain positions. If you successfully do so, you can score it for points. Most points at the end of the game wins. On your turn, you can discard a card to either score it, discard it to swap 2 adjacent, or flip 1 to the other side. And all the stones have correlations on them, like different types of transport, sun and moon, fish and bird, stuff like that, plant and seed. And if you get them in the right positions, you score the points. And then the harder ones to do, more points, but it's really gratifying. Super awesome.
If you guys have been listening, he says we're almost done. He's been saying that for the last 30 minutes.
I'm trying to reassure you. Come on, no, we're good. We're good. This was like 2 years ago. We're good. We got this.
Happy City. I remember this one vaguely.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's quick little city engine building. You're trying to... at the end of the game, you're trying to multiply your population times your happiness. That'll be your score. And the way you do so is by building different types of buildings. Some will give you happiness, some will give you scoring, some will give you money on income phase, which is once everybody's taken a turn, everybody gets income. If you like Machikoro but want a game that literally pretty much anybody can play, this is really a cute game.
All right, moving on to La Morada Maldita. Race to grab gems with your reward being a curse in the next round. Story of ancient gem collecting, explorers who dies, a villager inherits all the game, weird magic. Each player is placed on the table with their challenge cards face down in front of 65 gems. You'll flip over the first card, specific gems. So basically you're just trying to pattern recognize real time and get the gems.
Yeah, it actually works really well because some of them are specifically designed to look similar but slightly different than other ones. It's really funny. All right, Secret Squad. This is another one. You will be secretly placed on one of the teams, and you'll be answering yes or no based on your questioning. You're trying to figure out who's on your same team by how they would answer. So if you click on that little thingy, for a quick example, can you do... Some people will be on the yellow team, some will be on the red team. So if I'm secretly on the yellow team, I'll answer either yup or nope based on can I do more than 20 push-ups. I would probably say no because I don't think I could. But that doesn't mean that you're trying to figure out if I'm actually on the red team. If I answer nope for do you think humanity will destroy itself instead. This is a really nifty little game. It's another one of those little portable party games and probably my favorite of the series. Okay.
So the next one on our list here is one of my favorites, Super Mega Lucky Box. What you're doing is you're scoring as many points as possible by filling out these cards based on what cards flip up. What you're gonna shuffle these cards that are coming up, and one of them's taken out, so you're not gonna see the same cards over. And when you get the numbers, you either mark off here or on a row or something like that. When you ever meet this area, you get the special ability or possible points here. Or this one will give you another number to fill out in one of your other cards. And you're playing it under a certain amount of rounds. Most points at the end of the game wins. You have moons that kind of work like puddings in Sushi Go. And so it's really neat. I like what it does a lot.
Yeah, Phil Walker Harding did great. Word heist. You're trying to cooperatively work on words together. I think it's cooperative, if I'm not mistaken. But you have spelling. You have only certain letters you could do. Some are more valuable than others. So it's pretty cool. It's one of their newer games. It was pretty neat how it works.
Next up is Octopi, a sweet and splashy game. Octopi is an undersea race to gather 8 matching arms for your octopus. Roll the die to see whether if you draw the octopile, flip over a tentacle to reveal the color lying beneath it and swap it with an opponent. Find an arm holding a pie and you get a tasty extra. So, dice mechanism to build your octopus.
Yeah, really simple kids looking
game.
Yeah. Sleeping Queens 2 Rescued is a sequel to Sleeping Queens. We already talked about it. It has a little bit more involved, but it's kind of similar game with some more abilities.
Yeah, and next up here is Teeter Tower. Place dice and tiles with care to build a complete tower. Work as a team to roll dice and stack them to each new level. The challenge is that every tile limits dice placement by color and number. Tiles come in 3 colors, orange, green, and blue. They have a number of spaces on them. Each turn you roll a die and you can place a number only in the matching numbered spaces and colors only in the tile of the proper color where no number spaces are. To win, you need to place all the tiles in a single tower, which is balancing on a small base. Mind you, the top tower with one final tile. So it's kind of reverse Jenga?
It's cooperative reverse Jenga, yeah. And it works incredibly well. Yeah.
It looks really neat.
It's silly. I'll bring that over sometime. Chunky Donkey, another
really
kicked-in
low
party
rated
game. Really weird. Yeah, this is one of their not hits. It's fun. A handful of question cards in the round. Active player draws a card from the answer deck and reads it aloud. Each other player chooses a turn to ask a question card from there. So it's like reverse in a pickle. Reverse Cards Against Humanity or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Right. You answer the questions, not the answers.
All right. So
Loose Caboose,
off the rails card game. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So any of the ones I know, I'll take that for the sake of quickness. All right. So this turn, you're playing a card. That's the number of dice that you're going to be rolling. You're trying not to have your caboose go off of the end of the cards. You can also play sets of cards the same. So I can play like multiple 4s if I wanted to. Again, because if you have it go off the rails, then you have to take cards as penalties, and you're trying to shed all your cards. It actually is really cool, beautiful components. The dice that you roll have either 0, 1, or 2 wagon wheels, which is how many spaces the train moves. Really fun.
Next one here is Forbidden Jungle.
Okay.
I have not played this one, but I'm assuming it's a lot of lines like the other ones. You crash land on a jungle planet. You need to work together to survive. You got to find certain things to get off the planet.
Yeah. So what's different about the other 3 versus this? The first one, you're losing tiles. The second one, you're shifting them around. Third one, you're building tiles. This has all 3. So you have to get the right tiles surrounding a portal and energize it to get off the planet. You all have to be on that tile, and some of that involves destroying tiles while surviving, shifting things around, and blowing up aliens. It's really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pop sticks.
No, nothing about this.
No, nothing about it. There's no picture, so I'm guessing it was announced and never came out.
Yep. Cool. All right, Deducto. Awesome game. Super simple. You're just trying to figure out which card you have in your hand. You flip over another card in your hand. You ask somebody if the card that is facing away from you shares at least one of the attributes. It either is what type of animal, what type of background, or what kind of disguise that they're wearing. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you think you know what all 3 or what your animal is that's facing away from you, and you're going to make a guess. And you can guess up to 3 times wrong, in which case you're eliminated. But it doesn't completely take you out of the game if you guess wrong, which is pretty cool.
Next is Butts on Things.
Butts on Things. You're trying to get the most points by putting butts on things. And by putting rows on your turn, you place a card in either a row or column adjacent to a previously placed card. If you make a row with butts of the same picture on opposite sides of the row, you get that row or column. There are some wilds in there, but yeah, it's very simple. You just take one card at a time, trying to build up a big row and take them all for points by making a combination of butts.
Honestly, the theme on this just does not attract me at all.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess what the artist, like, that's his thing.
Yeah, I know, I get it. It's just not my style.
Yep, game's kind of fun though.
Guess the Link.
I haven't played this one.
It's the who's of whodunits. To start Guess the Link, they'll add a grid featuring 16 celebrities and other notable characters. One player secretly comes up with a common bond that links 3 of them. Everyone else must work together to ask questions, eliminate suspects, and figure out the covert connection before running out. This actually sounds really cool.
Yeah, it does, actually. I'd be willing to pick it up next time I see it.
Yeah, if I see it, I'll have to pick it up.
Rated high, too.
You know this one.
Sushi Go Spin Some for Dim Sum. Yeah, this is really cool. It's kind of like a really simple drafting version of, like... a
Sushi Go game not designed by Phil Walker Harding.
It's by Ken Gruhl and Quentin Weir. I don't know Quentin Weir, but I do know Ken Gruhl's games. Yeah, no, you position yourself in front of one of them. You can actually spend chopstick tokens to actually move it even more. It does have a spinning platter, and you're trying to get sets to complete orders on your board. And so if you do so, you get more points. At the end of the game, you're going to score similar a la Sushi Go style, but just that spinning mechanism works really well, just like Planet Unknown, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Planet Unknown. Yeah. Yeah, it works similar ideas, except when you take a card with chopsticks on it, you get those chopsticks tokens with you, which gives you more abilities to maneuver.
Nice.
Great components.
All right, next one we both really loved. You were super excited about this when you read it in a magazine of all things.
I heard it long before it was announced.
Wrath of Fire Mountain, a Phil Walker Harding, Eric Lang game. This one's pretty neat because the whole purpose is it's kind of area control. You're trying to score the most points. I think depending on the player count determines when the end game will trigger. You're also trying to draft these dinosaurs. What you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice. A la Yahtzee style, I think it's up to 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to either save those. You're got to save the volcanoes. That's going to give you a little area control and help you determine what the rounds are. And what's neat about it is if you control the volcano, you're able to shift the tiles wherever it's rolled. So since it's here, I can shift it either this way or this way. This will just fold over to here. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you own the majority of a certain section, so say I move this grassland over to where this makes me have a nice long grassland. And so I would score points for each tile in that grassland if I had the majority there. Mm-hmm. And so these dinosaurs have special powers. You have your little villagers that will help you. You have to move them on the board by footsteps based on the dice rolling. It's really neat how this works. I really did enjoy the mess out of this game.
Yeah, it's really cool. And you could tell Eric Lang and Phil Walker Harding's flavor in all of it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Midsummer's Night Fair. We have not played this one yet, but I'm really excited to try it. It is like a pattern combination
This one's
thing.
the relatively newest one, right?
It's one of their newest ones. I mean, like 10 comments is not even on the list yet. Go and scroll on down. I think it's like kind of like the casino game that we talked about.
Yeah.
Combo King. Fairs come to town. You are all welcome to partake in its games. But note that this is no ordinary fair, as it is run by elven fairies. Tricksters. Why don't you? In a Midsummer's Night Fair, you play 10 mini-games, choose dice to achieve the individual victory conditions of those games, use fairy mischief cards to change the dice and the outcome of the game. So, looks kind of cool. I mean, I'm just really excited about that. I like the little box insert. Yeah. That's one of the games, obviously, I think.
It almost looks a bit like Roll for It, where you're trying to do the dice to win the mini games, basically to win the card and stuff like that.
Yep, pretty much.
All right.
That's cool.
Next one is A Bunch of Fun Guys. Now, I've heard about this one, and it's with the puns. You love it.
Yep.
It's a bidding game where you're forging cards to collect mushrooms. Mushrooms have been really hot lately.
They have been. They
it's
really
weird.
have been.
Do you want to get only one mushroom to be the first pick of the choice is truffle? Or are you willing to take whatever is left over for a chance at 3 mushrooms or even 4? Some mushrooms will let you take special actions. So it's all about set collection in a sense where you're trying to bid to a certain point to collect mushrooms. Pretty decent looking components. I wonder if this is like the first player piece or something.
Yeah, it's like a little squishy mushroom, I'm sure.
All right, and the last game on the list.
Last one, Up Dog. Complete sets to complete goals and move up to the top bowl first. Up Dog is a fun, easy to learn card game where everyone fetches cards at the same time. Complete goal cards in the center. The trick is you want to be the only dog to complete a goal card. Otherwise, no one gets to move, which is pretty funny. All right, race to win. In this simple card game, race your furry friends through the town to get to the food bowl first. Can't wait to learn it. This is something I would totally play.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. Let's look at the back of the cover real quick. This is, I don't think it's out yet. It's supposed to come out later this year, but so yeah, the player pieces alone, those look really good, and it's designed by Ken Grohl, so you're a big fan of him.
There you go. Yeah, he's starting to jump up there on my list of like games I tend to enjoy. All
right, and that was Gamewright Games, which is, sorry for the length, this is going to be about a 2-hour and 45-minute podcast.
Yep. So. Yeah, it's a great episode. Well, again, I mean, like...
We're going to implement a rule. We already have it on...
No, we don't need to discuss this. Let's wrap it up, and we'll talk about this afterwards. As soon as I can run out the door, and then we'll figure it out.
We have a minimum. We're going to have a maximum from now on.
We don't have a minimum yet.
Yeah, we do. You said you wanted to at least be 10 games or more.
We haven't agreed on that yet.
Yeah, I agreed to it.
All right, well, what's our maximum? 200 games?
150.
150?
Yeah.
150. All right.
Because this was like 150.
Other than when we get our goals that we've been going for the Reiner Knizia episode.
That is a different story, yes.
All right, cool. All right, well, we hope you've enjoyed today's episodes. Thank you, Gamewright, for making such great games and ramping up, like, really your quality. We really do appreciate it, and we do enjoy the vast majority of these games. I'd be willing to try almost any of these twice, and the puns are for real. If you liked our episode, you can email us directly at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. Remember, enter in that contest, whether you want to say hello or give us ideas for future episodes. We also have an Instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Remember, our secret code word today was family time. And if you follow us on Instagram.com/everydayboardgames, you can also get a ticket to enter in our contest for free.
Also, all video re-uploads and reviews are found on YouTube under youtube.com/@everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, which gives you a ticket into our contest. Like the video and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
We also stream this live with our friends Creative Chaos and Luminous joining us today, and anybody else who joined us on our live Twitch stream. We appreciate you as well. Join us at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Remember, follow us there and add a subscription for even more tickets. Not required, but would be appreciated.
And all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
So as always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.